Okay, girls, I am here, and hopefully that you're here as well. Oh, goodness gracious. I hope that everybody has had a great week. And I hope that everybody can hear me. So we're just going to figure out if people are hearing me or what's going on, because I want to make sure that everything's going well before I bring Andrea on. I'm so excited. I am ready. I have my paints. Um, hey, Diana. Hi, Andy. Hey, Blanca. Good morning. Good morning to Texas. I've got to get my volume down on my ear pod because that's not going to work for me. Hold on a second, girls. Let me get off of here. Okay, that's better. That is better. So, girls, we are going to be doing some watercolor painting today. And the reason why we're going to do some watercolor painting today is one, because I want to learn how to watercolor paint, and two, because I have Andrea here today. And I'm super duper excited that she is coming on here today to, talk to us, to show us watercolor painting, and then also to talk to us about journaling. Because, goodness, you know me, I am all about the journaling and the mental health aspect of journaling, the taking, excuse me, the taking time for ourselves about journaling, all of that, and so is Andrea. And so, girls, when I discovered her, I was just like, girl, this girl is my vibe. This girl is my vibe, and I am just excited to share her with you. Now, if you are part of the Facebook group, then you know that I have talked about her over there. I actually invited her to come join us over there. And so, yeah, you might have already gone and checked out her stuff. It's Journals for Breakfast on YouTube. And yeah, but if you haven't discovered her yet, then this is my introduction to all you ladies that come onto my channel here, Paper Girlie Studio, and for you to discover her. And hopefully, go check her out. Go check her out. If she's your vibe, go support her. I am all about supporting and celebrating women and girls. If this isn't a girl that I can celebrate and support, then I don't know who is, because I just think that she is fabulous, fabulous. So I'm going to look over here at the screen for a minute just so I can say hi to people. Hi, Kim. Southern Blue Skies. Hey, Kim. Um, Yep, like you're excited about watercolor paint. Awesome. Valerie from Baltimore. Hey, Jody, you made it back. You made it back in time to join us. Exciting. I'm just going up from my car to my apartment, so I'm on the road with you. We're on the road with you. Hey, Heidi. Okay, go support your granddaughter and then come back and watch us later if you want to learn how to watercolor paint. Um, Come back and just discover more about Andrea, really. Hey, Rhonda, I'm glad that you could join us today. Hey, Bev. Um, yes. So everybody can hear me. Okay, so girls, we have about 20 people watching now, and I want to bring on Andrea. I want to bring on Andrea. I'm going to be kind of taking a back seat for a little bit, just so that I can, be looking at the comments and um, kind of helping behind the scenes, because I really want Andrea to be the superstar today. Like I said, I am just digging on what she's laying out there, and so I wanted to introduce her to you gals. Plus, she does the watercolor painting. And you know me, I don't like learning, I like knowing. However, in this case, excuse me, in this case, I've got to learn this. And if anybody's going to have the patience um, or the motivation, gonna get me motivated to try to have the patience to do this, it's going to be Andrea. So, girls, I'm going to flip over to a double screen so that we can have Andrea here with us. So, Andrea, I hope that you are ready. Oh, hi, everyone. Andrea is wonderful. Awesome. So, you've already gone and checked her out. Oh, uh, I Heart Marie, are you from Journals for Breakfast? Are you joining us here from Journals for Breakfast? Are you a loyal Andrea fan? Um, I forget, and I apologize. I forget that there's might be some girls that are regular, I was going to say fans. That's but regular subscribers or watchers of Andrea here as well. So if you are, from her side of the, I guess it's not the pond, but her side of the world, we'll call it, then welcome, welcome to our live stream. Sometimes it can get a little bit chaotic, a little bit crazy, but we have a lot of fun here. And girls, if you see some names that you don't normally see over here from my side, then please make them feel welcome, make them feel welcome. Okay, so again, we are going to go over to Andrea now because I want to give her some time and I only have a certain amount of time with her. So, okay, Andrea, three, two, one, we're going to bring you in, baby. I could hear you. And so, girl, we can see you, we can hear you, and they will let me know in the comments if there is any issues. But Andrea, I want to hand it over to you for you to do a proper introduction and just, say howdy. Okay, somebody's saying we can't hear you. So what, you know what, Andrea? I'm going to just go in, and if that's going to be my fault, okay, girls, that's me. That's on my end. So let me make sure that her sound is on. Oh, I I'm gonna say we can hear you now. Let me just double check. They're gonna let us know. They're gonna let us know that I see. So they're gonna let us know. Um, oh, okay, girls. Let us know if you can hear Andrea. I think that I had her microphone off, but I'm gonna say that I have her. Nope, nope. Okay, shoot, shoot, shoot. Um, let me. Okay, let's try. Yeah, it is showing up here. Hmm. That's weird. I can hear you, but well, it wouldn't be a live stream over here if I did it perfectly. We're gonna figure it out. They're saying no. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me figure this out. Clap cam, um, volume. Mic. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. Hey AJ, we're trying to figure this out. We're trying to figure out Andrea, sound, oh, sound video option, video capture, webcam. Um, let's see. Andrea, the volume is on, assigned to source. Um, Goodness gracious. Oh gosh. It says mic on and I can hear you. So, um, goodness. And I can't hear her. Mixer, tutorial. Um, let's see. Collab cam. Okay. Girls, just hold on for us. Um, oh gosh. Gosh, gosh. Um, Video device, collab cam, source, volume. I can't hear her. Um, Clapcam says mixer volume. Clapcam stream rec. Um, okay, girls. Monitor off. Yeah, you're just talking and um,
But they can see on camera that I'm talking, so I just want to show
audio
the context
monitor.
that we can hear each other.
um,
I'm not just talking to my shoe.
y'all, I wonder if I'm talking to Mitzi and I can't hear each other. Oh, you're typing. She's like, oh, okay. Um, so I did a little thing and it says audit monitor and output. So is anybody hearing us,
All right, can
Andrea,
anybody
out
hear me
there?
now? Can anybody hear me now?
No.
Test,
Yes,
test.
yes, I
I
can
hear
hear her.
her. Woo!
Okay, we did it. We did it. Okay.
You're so
Okay,
good.
girls. Again, this is on me. I'm learning something new every single time. Learning something new every single time. So you can hear us well. Okay. Awesome, ladies. Thank you for having patience with us. So again, here is Andrea in full sound. Okay. Take it away.
All right, everybody can hear me. We all good? Yeah, so short story journals for breakfast is my channel, and I started it 2 years ago, and I started it just to have a place to share journals and yeah, my journal practice, what it means to me at the time. So 2 years ago, I was kind of coming out of a really, really bad burnout. When the burnout first landed, which was now about 7 years ago, I relied on journaling to help me through. I um, couldn't change much in my life at the time that the burnout was really hitting a crescendo. Um, and so, one of the things that I did, and I share this in my very first video on my channel, you can find that video and look at the description. There was a video I watched where a woman described finding time for herself in every day. And the way that she put that phrase was that she creates before she consumes. And so what she was doing in her life was getting up really early, like 5 or 5:30, but she would do something creative for 30 minutes before she started her family day and also before she consumed screen time. And that is what I'm referring to with consumption for me as well. And I just jumped on that bandwagon. I loved that concept. Create before you consume. And consumption for me is screens. At the time that my burnout was at its worst, I was falling asleep with my laptop in my bed. And so the idea of getting up to a quiet home, having a cup of coffee while listening to some music and doing something a little bit creative for anywhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes really struck me as valuable. Um, and it was a tough breakaway, getting away from jumping up and checking emails, jumping up and turning on the Today Show, jumping up and getting all the noise and the distraction and the screens flowing into my life. Instead, just stopping first thing in the morning and letting myself settle into the day with a little journaling session, a little creative writing, which ultimately started to become some watercolor and some painting too. And I still live by that motto today. Every day when I get up, it is no screen time, not allowed for the first at least half hour of the day. And journaling for me is not, let's see, what it isn't is kind of this hardcore disciplined thing, like I must write in these pages every day. What journaling is for me is very flexible opportunity to put pen to paper, stickers to paper, or a brush to paper. I have a very broad concept of what journaling is, and my short answer is it's analog. As long as screens aren't involved for me, then I'm doing something I count as journaling, whether it's art journaling, dear diary, writing a postcard to a friend, all of that lands in this category to me. Yeah, and so that practice has just been a big part of healing up some really deep mental unwellness that I was coming through. And yeah, so it's still an important part of what I do now every day.
Okay, so Andrea, here's my question is how do we
Yeah,
do more than just stickers? I mean, don't get
right.
me wrong. I love the stickers and I love my paper. I'm the paper girly, but I am looking to add creativity to my journal.
Yeah. So I think one of the things is that I will die on the hill of what I'm about to share, which is every human being alive is an artist. I believe this in my soul, and I believe it because I have evidence of this in a lot of different formats. One is if you yourself as a 3-year old, or if you had a 3-year old, you probably got in trouble for putting lipstick on a wall, smudging markers on a floor. The reality is that it was inbred in you, it was inherent in you, it was part of your DNA to create, to make art in some way. And we go back tens of thousands of years and find evidence of random art showing up in charcoal drawings in caves in France. These people were not being graded by their art. They weren't becoming a higher part of society because of their art. Your 3-year-old who smudged lipstick on the wall didn't look for a grade or approval for the final product. It was the process of. And I will die on that hill that we are all artists. That's what we are. I was watching something recently about crayon making in the United States. And I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? We're making billions of crayons every year in this country. Who for? Not artists. For artists. Human beings are artists. That's what we do. I feel like our journaling practice, we move away from stickers and we start talking about like an art journal, is really easy to lock up and say, oh, I'm a crafter, but I'm not an artist. And yeah, I have worked hard to refrain from using that opener, even myself, coming on here and saying I'm going to share a few of my favorite little techniques to get your hands moving and how I got started. I was so tempted to come on and say, FYI, guys, I am not an artist. That is nonsense. I'm not a paid artist. Excuse me. I don't make my living selling paintings to the Louvre, but I'm a human being. I create. I'm an artist. What I'm not is a paid instructor of art right now. But I'm a human being who enjoys this process and can share it. That's as much as we need to know. So I think the first thing I will say, Mitzi, is that I hear it from so many people that the real thing that's holding them back from putting art into a journal is their own concept that they aren't artists. They tried to do a drawing once that it didn't come out the way they hoped it would and just kind of walked away. And I think that that's one of the things that we'll discover today about watercolor, is that if it's anything, it's forgiving. I mean, it is beautiful when it's nothing. When it's just blobs, it's pretty. So we can all do
Okay, girl. Show me how to do it. Show me how to do it. Show
it.
us how to do
All
it.
right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip my screen. So I'm going to just cover my camera for a minute so I don't make people seasick. And you'll see my drawings pop back up. And when that happens, we'll get chatting again.
Okay, sounds great. So, girls, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my screen to where I know that she's going to end up popping up at. And, girls, sorry, I did that really quick. Well, let's see. So, I have because I want to do an art card. Who? I want to do an artist trading card because you know we're all into that, girls. And then I also have one of my little postcards. And granted, I mean, if you don't have the postcard, don't worry about it. Use just an art trading card. And if you don't have an art trading card, then you know what else? Oh, here she comes. We just have, your regular paper. Your regular paper that you can use to make something on. And granted, you know what? I probably should use just a regular piece of paper because you know me, I'm gonna have an issue where and that is Andrea's puppy, and we just let him do what he needs to do him. We're gonna do us,
Shush, dog.
and we're just going to, enjoy our time. And Andrea, I'm gonna have you pull up because you are a little bit up top. I don't know if it's the light or whatever, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing the top. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so perfect. That is great. You're perfectly in frame. We're just going to have her come on
Okay.
there and she's going to show us some stuff, girls. Okay, so everybody, I hope that
Okay.
you have your stuff.
Yeah, you don't need much. Let me show you a couple quick. Shush, mister. You're not on TV. Settle it down. Let me show you a couple quick things. One is my water tray. This is very exciting, my water tray. And I have 4 jars here in my water tray. One is a big clear jar, and that is where in the morning when I get up, hang on one second. Let me get him out of here.
No problem.
I'm going to move him. The first thing that I do in the morning is drop those in and go get a cup of coffee.
Okay. Girls, I just have my water. I don't have a tray, but I've got a jar of water. It's literally just a little mason jar of water. And maybe I'll need more, which will just give me an opportunity to have to go buy more cute little mason jars. If I'm honest, I don't have an
Yeah, so
issue with
this is
that.
a mason jar, and this is yogurt jars, and I think I got jam in this one. So, not high tech. But here's my brushes, here's my water. Here's why I have 4 jars of water, FYI. One, a big clear jar of water that you'll get your brushes wet in, but also this is going to
Oh,
be how
geez.
you'll
Hey,
clear it out.
Andrea, guess what? I screwed up
Oh,
because I now we switched over, so I got to bring you back to where we can hear you.
okay.
Okay, there we go. I just popped you on the other
You
side
good?
screen, so we should be fine
Okay.
now because I know that one worked.
That's fine. All you missed is me yelling at my dog anyway. Okay. So water jars, technically a jar of water is all that you will ever need. But the reason I have 4 is I like a big one to soak my brushes in, and then I'll come back to this between paint colors. And you can see from the stain on this glass, this one holds blue, not blue water, it will be blue water, reds, or what I would call warm colors. And then I have this little bonus guy here. So what will happen is I will get paint on my brushes, right? So I got some blue paint on my brush. I will rinse this brush first in my cool color jar, and then I'll move it to the clean water. So always get rid of as much paint before I go back into the clean water. So I do clear, cool, warm. And then this little guy is here because sometimes I work with metallics or with pearl essence. And I don't want to move that pearl essence into all of my other paint. So I try to
Okay.
keep a separate jar just for that.
Okay,
Okay.
so I should have more than one jar. I just have one jar.
For today, nah, not at
Okay,
all. But as you get moving down the road,
gotcha.
um, yeah, typically artists work with 3 jars. I work with 4 because I do work with metallics and things like that.
Okay.
So when I first got started, here's a little trick, by the way. Um, Worried about calling yourself an artist, feeling a little bit of pressure at the idea of creating or painting or doing something artistic. One simple thing is to buy a cheap book, a cheap journal, or some cheap paper. And ultimately, I want you to practice watercolor on better paper, but we can all land on something that we would call stage fright, where we've bought a $45 journal, we've never painted before, and suddenly we freeze on that blank page. We feel like we're going to ruin it or do something that we can't change. I think an easy way to overcome that is forget the $45 journal and go with a $4, excuse me, sketch pad. I feel certain that this one came from Five Below back in the
Okay.
day.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was called Sketch because it's got a little texture to it, but it's definitely not watercolor paper.
Okay. Okay.
And
Oh,
these
well, okay. If you say it, I'm gonna believe you. If you say it, I'm gonna believe you. Okay.
So this is the first thing that I ever did, and it was on April 10th of 24. And I decided to paint a feather. I don't know. I just felt like that seemed like a shape I could probably make up from the top of my head. And it also felt like a shape that didn't need to be specific. If I went to go paint a house, then it needs to be, it needs to have symmetry. There would probably need to be some perspective. But a feather, I felt like I could just sort of play with. And this is where I started. And you can see on the 10th, the 13th, the 14th, right? So every morning I would just paint a feather.
Okay.
Often I would come back later and embellish them. So this one has like some gold and it's got some pin strokes on it. I would have come back after the fact once that dried and do a little bit more embellishment on it later down the road. But this is where I started, and I ended up almost filling a book with feathers over the course of several months. Um, and it's still one of my favorite things to paint. And I still tend to paint them as a warm up in the mornings just to get my hands moving. So that is what we will work on today.
Okay.
Um,
I'm standing
I
up
will
to grab
show
myself some
you
paper.
a couple just to give you some idea. Now, this is a sketchbook, a watercolor book that I'm working in, and I like to use the back page. So this is the paper that was meant to be painted on. All watercolor has kind of a right side and wrong side watercolor paper, excuse me. So I'll mess around on the wrong side, again, just to warm my hand up in the morning. And so I use every last bit. So even if you do invest in some decent paper, you will be able to get a lot of use out of it. And one of my favorite things to do is speckles. So very simple watercolor feathers, and I did a little grouping of them and then flung some paint at the paper.
Okay, I
And
had
I
a
think that's a
girl.
great effect.
Yeah, I had a gal. Oh, was it Gwen? Was it Gwen? I think Gwen sent me some. She did speckled paper because she sent me some speckled
Yeah.
paper as like stationery. So okay,
So
well,
these little feathers we're doing here with simple brushstroke, we can come back with a little ink if we want to, and some speckle is where I would get started. And I want to tell you guys a couple quick things about ATCs in my neck of the woods and postcards. I have now been to the Hobby Lobby by us and the Michaels by us, and Hobby Lobby had these artist trading cards, and they were a trick to find. They were very well tucked away. They were definitely not sitting like right over by the watercolor and paint and that sort of stuff. I actually think I found these closer to their stickers and kind of journaling stuff, happy planner stuff.
oh, good to
So
know.
these
Good
artist
to
trading
know.
cards, yeah. 99 cents for a pack, and I'm going to tell you that this is pretty lousy watercolor paper.
Oh,
I'm sorry to say. I was really hoping that it would do okay, but I'll show it to you so you can kind of see why I mean lousy, what I mean by that. So I
okay.
went and cut some of my own with a sheet of moderately priced watercolor paper. This whole pad would have been around $10, and it had 12 like 8 by 11 sheets. And so I just cut some out of that. And then this is a pricier one. But Mitzi and I were talking about this the other day. This watercolor paper is Arches, and it is $19 for 12 pages. But one piece of that paper gives you 12 ATC cards. So price wise, it's not outrageous. And this is like top of the line. This is great watercolor paper. So we'll take a look at those. And then if you wanted to do a postcard today, I
I got
have
mine. I got mine. Yep.
this one I got at Michael's from Artist Loft, and this one doesn't have the postcard marking on the back. It's just postcard size. So you could draw a line and 3 lines and put your stamp and your address and your little note. This one is Strathmore, and I probably got it on Amazon, and it actually has the postcard set up for you on the back. So
I
if you
got
want to do
mine
a
at
postcard
Michael's,
today,
and it's just a matter
yeah,
of whether it's in or not. Sometimes they have it.
I mean,
Sometimes they're
that's
sold
it.
out.
And the reality is that those big box stores are very hit or miss with how they stock. And y'all, if you hear me on this video and I'm breaking up a little bit or something, just be patient. I live in the middle of nowhere. So one of the problems with looking for art supplies here is there are no art supply stores. And even the big box ones, I'm stuck with what they're willing to stock in a rural community. And the answer is not much.
Right.
So that's great.
Jody says at her Hobby Lobby the ATC cards are near the tags, stamps, and ink pads. Hey Gina.
Yeah, you know what? That may be right. That sounds right.
So I think everywhere probably does it a little bit differently. I literally
Mm,
just start on one end and I just do the entire store. So it doesn't matter. Eventually I'm going to get to them.
right. So I want to get into a project pretty quick for those who
Yep.
just need to
Let's
move
do it.
on.
Let's do it.
And
Let's do it.
and I'm going to do some really quick little tutorial, and then I'm going to tell you where you'll get some more good tutorials. So brushes, FYI, you need one. You need a brush because you're going to paint something. And these are the 4 that I use, and they're essentially the only 4 that I ever use, a 12, a 6, an 8. And this 2 shows up on occasion, but it's not my favorite. I'm a pretty, oh, what do I want to say, kind of expansive person. This little finicky thing is not my favorite thing to do and to work with, but it has its purposes. Any size brush will work. If I had to pick one watercolor brush that I was going to invest in, I'd invest in the 8 because he can get big enough. You see how when I push down on my hand, how the bristles spread out a little bit? He
Mm-hmm.
can actually spread out a bit, but he also can go super, super fine. Whereas if you go with too small of a brush, the spread on it is pretty limited. Yes, he can go fine, but he'll be kind of a pain to paint with. So I go with something that'll spread out a little bit, and an 8 will do pretty well for that.
Okay, girls, I just realized because I have a bunch of them just sitting in a little thing over here, and that I had bought all of these in a freaking cheap little pack from Michael's. I'm sure I probably got them from Michael's. And actually, when she said 8, and I just looked for one that kind of looked like hers, and indeed it is an 8. So they will come in just, the cheap little packs. And like I always say, I mean, granted, I realize that I am just I'm a total hypocrite because I like I buy the fancy stuff thinking it's going to help me, and it doesn't.
Right.
It does not help me.
Now, and here's what I will say. I worked with Master's Touch brushes, 4 of them, and that is the Hobby Lobby house brand. That's what I worked with until Christmas of this year. And Christmas of this year, my husband gave me these Princetons. They are definitely nicer, but I wasn't going to invest anything into this unless I was sure that it was something I wanted to continue to do. So my original paints were Hobby Lobby brand, which is Master's Touch, and Hobby Lobby brand brushes. I bought 3 or 4 brushes, I can't remember, and 3 paints, primary colors, and I mixed all my colors based on those primary colors. So cheap works, believe me,
Okay,
to get started, and just make sure that you love it before you get going. The other thing I'll
so
say about art supplies is that as you develop a style or start to understand more how you're using them and how you're enjoying them, my choice for brushes may turn out not to be your choice for brushes. The deeper you dive into something, the more knowledge you get about it, the more particular you become. And I think it's way worth holding off until you kind of get there before you start spending the big bucks.
okay, and honestly, gals, I I'm starting out basic. Andrea's going to be using her stuff, and I'm going to be using my stuff. And today I'm using just the washable watercolors by Crayola, and I'm actually going to use the brush as well, just because
Yeah.
I'm beginning. I'm beginning, and like I always say, I want everyone to feel like they can come in, do this project with whatever they got. And so this is what I got. And we all know from my other
And
videos, I bought this, the expensive stuff. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use that because
right.
I'm going to start as a beginner. But do I need a
And
paper towel?
listen, it's handy to have a paper towel to put damp your brush down on.
Okay, I'm going to go
But let
run
me
and
tell
grab
you
one.
what.
You keep continuing.
Um, okay. You can make some beautiful things with a single color also. So it's not like you need multiple brushes or multiple colors. And the Crayola strip of colors is perfectly fine. While she's gone, I will show you quickly, and I promise we'll paint a feather. I'm going to throw my palette in here. I keep a hot mess of a palette, but you can tell what I do. I have yellows and browns. I have blues and purples. I have reds and oranges. I have greens and some greenish browns. And the reason is because I tend to paint landscapes of the marshes where I live, and those colors work best for me. So that's what I keep there. But that's a big palette. You definitely don't need to go there. But by the way, that plastic palette, that was my first palette too. And I bought that at Hobby Lobby for $9. So, and I still love it. What we're going to talk about real quickly is a little practice you can do, which is why I like feathers and why I do these on the backs of other artwork in the mornings to warm up my hand. It's a little practice in how you hold your brush. So right now, the tip of my brush is right at the camera. And when I do that, in fact, I'm going to sacrifice a card for this. When I
Okay,
hold my brush
Andrea,
straight
I'm going
up,
to let you
yeah,
continue on. The girls
okay.
here from my side know that I always have to go to the bathroom because I drink coffee in the morning. So I'm just going to let you continue on. I'm going to, hit the little girls' room, but you continue on, and I will just catch up with everybody. Okay?
Sounds
Eh,
perfect. Yep.
Okay.
So when I hold the brush straight up, what's going to happen is I'm going to get very thin lines, right? Very little thin lines. Once I put some pressure on, even holding it straight up, if I put some pressure, I will get thicker lines. So I can put very little pressure, put a little pressure, pull back. That already looks a little like a leaf or a flower or a feather, excuse me. Um, when I angle the brush, I can still get thin lines. So I can sort of find that angle and find that thin line, and then use some pressure and create a thicker line and pull up to create a thinner line. So your brush angle is part of what you will play with a little bit. And to be honest with you, my favorite warm-ups in the morning are just that. Put a brush down, press and pull. Put a brush down, press and pull. And just start finding the shape of this particular brush when it's at its fullest point, when it's at its most fine point. And you can see, I think, why these would be enjoyable. They're pretty mesmerizing. So for my feather, what I'm going to do with one brush, and I'll do this a couple ways for you, but what I'm going to do is I got some paint on the brush, and it's a wet brush, and you can see that it's got that sort of angle to it. I'm going to very gently put my brush down to paper. Then as I move, I'm going to press, and then I'm going to lift back up. So I'm going to come here, press, and lift back up. Put a little water on this brush. You can see my paint's a little dry. And I'm actually going to come in at the same place where sort of what would this be? The quill of the feather is sitting. I'm going to start right there again and just press and come back up. And now I can decide if I want to trace back over this. Some of that drag is because my brush was a little bit dry, but some of it is paper quality too. So you'll play with that as you get to know it. I'm just blobbing paint in some spots to just kind of create some darker areas. And if I want to leave this here, I could come in with a pen and draw the backbone of that feather. I don't know what that's called, that center quill. And I could draw in, right, the sort of other little lines of how the feathers move. So I can just leave it just like that if I would like to. I could come in with a clean, bigger brush, which is this. There's nothing on it, and just drag some of that paint through to just kind of finish that there. And you have to decide for yourself as you're playing with your little feathers, are you going to do some little kickouts? Because feathers do that. They're feathers. They fray, they get caught in the wind. You know, do you want to do little kickouts here and there? Or do you want to keep your feather nice and clean? Now, for those who are nature lovers, clearly this is not far from the shape of a leaf either. So if you decided you just wanted to go that routine, you certainly could. But see those drops that I put in there, how they just kind of faded back out? This is the fun of watercolor, you guys. There are no rules, and you can just kind of come in and decide if you want to smooth that out. Do you want to exaggerate that with more water? You can. And the thing that I want you to never forget about watercolor is water. I'll tell you so many times when I'm doing something and it just looks flat or it just doesn't look right or I'm just not loving what's happening, I realize if I just add some water to it, I get a really cool effect. So never forget the water in the watercolor. Now, the deal with watercolor is that it is translucent paint. So if we put something down, right, we'll be able to see whatever was behind it through the paint because it's translucent. So I'm just going to stick with this blue for now. Watercolor is translucent. What that means is as you put down your first color, you can always build more color. You're kind of coming from the back forward. And I think that's actually a really fun thing to play with too. Listen, you're going to get mud sometimes. That's fine. When you make a muddy piece, you can tear it up and throw it away. But sometimes you're going to get some pretty cool effects. And it's just part of learning to play with water and paint. I like the translucence of this in certain settings. I think it works really well. But I love the appearance of acrylic paint paintings. And so sometimes I go a little heavy-handed with my paint and my watercolor. So I'll come back in with a little thicker. I like some pigment, you know. But
Okay.
you'll do you. Figure out what works for you. And what I'll say about it is start light, let it dry, paint again. You can build up on it. I'm going to tell you
Okay.
something that I learned about watercolor that I did not hear in my first year, and I wish I had, because once I heard it, it really loosened me up a little bit, which is a funny thing about watercolor paintings because they're built from the back forward. They almost always land in what's called the ugly stage at some point. And what's really important to remember with watercolor is fight through the ugly stage.
Okay,
If you
I'm
see
at
a
the ugly
watercolor
stage
painting,
right now. I feel like I'm at
if
the
you see
ugly
a
stage.
I gotta see yours. I can't see it right now. If you
I
feel
just
like
like
you're at an ugly stage with watercolor, all I can tell you is let it dry and come back to it. You probably can add another layer or another swipe of color or even some pen and ink and take it to the next place. I will also tell you that the downside of watercolor is that it is a medium that can be overworked, but so can acrylic. If y'all have ever done a sip and paint class with acrylic paint, probably at some point in your painting, you did a little overworking somewhere. It was kind of fun to mix colors on the canvas, and then all of a sudden you looked up and you'd made something that was kind of, I don't know, cadaver colored, and you were like, wait, what? What have I just done? That can happen with watercolor too, and overworking it is pretty common. It's just part of the process. So allow it to happen. I'm going to let this one dry while I do an ATC card. But for the ATC card, what I'm going to do is put what's called a wash on the back. So I'll still go with my blue, but I'm just going to come across and just do a light wash. And I kind of like puddles and skips, such as they are. So I'm going to leave those there and let that
okay.
dry a little bit. And I'll show you one. This is one that I did a wash on. So I did some kind of blues and reds and then came in with this sort of orange. And to me, this card isn't quite finished. I don't know that he's at ugly stage, but he's just sort of unfinished to me. And so I'm going to come back in and get a little bit more aggressive with some of that color and see if I can't pretty him up a little bit. Maybe he'd like a few dots leading down to the end of his feather.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm going to throw a little feather action on him.
And you're just doing the dots with the same paintbrush? You don't have to have another
Yeah,
one? Okay.
nah.
Let me try that. Let me see if I
Just
can.
bring it a little bit. And so you start to bring color from the back forward, the back forward, the back forward. And it's one of the really fun things about watercolor. Talk about getting to be a kid. I mean, this is definitely a medium where you get to just play, just have some fun and see what happens. The worst thing that can happen is you make something that you hate and you throw it out. So big deal. But mostly what happens when I make a muddy painting or an overworked painting, what I usually do is just tear that paper up and then they end up in my collages because they're
Okay.
just, once they're all sort of torn up, they're just colored paper. So even those I don't get rid of. But see the buckling here?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
one
So
option
Gwen,
is to
just let me
take,
I'm going to interrupt you. Gwen is asking, I was wondering if water brushes are a good choice. And so I'm assuming that Gwen, are you wondering if if they have to be called watercolor brushes or if just any brush works?
are you talking about a brand?
I'm no, but hopefully Gwen will talk more about that, but I that is something that I was wondering too, is because you go to, you go to Hobby Lobby, you go to Michael's, whatever,
Yeah.
um, and then you see the brushes, like some brushes are acrylic brushes, some brushes say
Yeah, fair
watercolor.
point. I would buy brushes that are meant for watercolor, but I will say this. I worked with Crayola brushes for a while too.
Okay.
So I think you just will find that different brushes just behave a little differently. I don't know that that matters a lot in the beginning when you're just mixing colors and having some fun and just working on your brush strokes.
Okay.
In time, it can start to have more of an impact. I actually bought a really expensive brush, and I talk about this in the video I have on my channel. It's a long one. It's a 1 hour video of like my 2 year watercolor journey. And I talk about the most expensive brush that I bought. I actually don't use. It doesn't hold enough water for me. And I actually now, looking back, wonder if I inadvertently bought a brush that wasn't meant for watercolor. It's
Okay.
very possible.
Yeah, girls,
So
that's where I discovered Andrea is on that watercolor. I got just obsessed because I saw it and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. So if this just watching this perks your interest in watercolors, go watch that video. Blanca is asking, when do you add the whisks? Did I miss the whisks?
oh, yeah, let me do another one. And anytime, that's a fair question. But anytime, look at this tiny little card in this big old brush. I'm doing that just to say you do not need a different brush for different size stuff.
Okay.
I'm still going to pull off the same feather with this big brush. So I've seen these little wispy things done a few different ways. one is you can just do it right now while you're, I'm going to get a little paint off my brush, get it a little bit dry, and see how by just getting it dry, just drying it out a little bit, I was able to just kind of create these outside feathery feathers. So he's a little
Okay.
softer of a look. And you can do that down by the quill too. Just pop a little bit of fuzz down there if you want. That's while the paint's wet. But you could also, if let's say they dried up, this paint dried, and you were like, yeah, that's great, but I really wanted to get some little wisps in here. One thing you can do is draw them in, but you could add them to already dried paintings. So I'll do that here
And
with
if you're going to
blue.
draw in, Andrea, what kind of pen? Do we need a waterproof pen? Is that what we need?
Yeah, look for ink that says that it's water safe, waterproof, or water fast, I think are the way they're listed.
Okay.
Microns typically are, by the
Okay.
way.
I was just going to say, I have a
So,
micron, and that's what I was planning on
yeah.
using.
Now, is it going to matter if it's waterproof if you're going to draw on a dry painting and not go back over it? Not at all.
Okay.
But if you're going to bring your brush back over it at some point, it will smudge if it's not waterproof. So I'm just throwing a little whiskies here. I hope that helps give you the
Okay.
concept.
And
And this
girls,
is a
just so
fully
you
dry.
know, what I did is I just totally messed mine up trying to make it dry. I literally just, I'm showing them that I used my paper towel to dry it off, and I took all of my paint off. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
by the
don't do
way,
that.
but that's a good point because let's say you did something like I do often, which is reach for a cup of coffee and do that. And I'm like, oh no, what did I do? I just get some water and get rid of it pretty
Okay.
quickly. So, yeah, I'm good at dropping brushes right onto my own paintings. And so if you catch it while it's wet, you can do some repair. I also
Okay.
will say I kind of like the effect of a little bit of paper towel um, to create kind of a little texture in the background. It can
Okay.
be a fun thing to play with. What I like to do is wad it up on this side, right? So it's kind of,
Okay.
I don't know, more texture.
And then just
And you
take
can
some
almost
of it
start to
off.
get kind of a little bit of a cloud idea there happening. So I like that idea too, starting to get a little
Okay.
sky started in the background. Now, the thing
Hey,
about
Hooked on
watercolor you got to
Crafts.
remember,
And hey, Marie. Marie says, my numerous washi tapes are useful to hold down the canvas and act as borders. Otherwise, I never use them at all.
yeah,
Yeah, I was using
yeah,
this
and you
freaking
can
Scotch
see
tape.
this washi tape came in a pack of 4. 3 of the patterns I loved, and this pattern I did not love, so I just use it to hold my watercolors in place if they're buckling.
Perfect.
If you
Perfect.
buy a pad like these watercolor pads, they're blocked, so they're sealed on the sides, so you can paint right on this pad and then
Oh,
peel it off when you're done, so they won't go anywhere. But like this Montmartre, I'm guarantee you this is Five Below, and you can see the paper kind of warped as I was painting it, but it was spiral bound, so it just held in place. I never taped anything down for that.
okay.
Yeah. So, but yes, I agree. A little bit of washi, and I just use washi that I I I love washi tape. So my good washis that end up in my collages and in my journal don't end up holding these things down. But also painter's tape works. I keep a roll of painter's tape back here too. Like what's that one? Green Frog or whatever. I keep that
Yeah.
back here too.
I was a ding dong using Scotch tape the first time around until actually I think it was Aaron told me, use washi tape. I'm like, duh. Yeah,
Yeah.
use washi
You
tape.
need no, that's a fair point. Who would know that? And then the other thing I want to mention is let's say you're working, this is blue and it's still pretty wet. I'm gonna throw a little more water at it, but I'm looking for more of a purple. Well, we know if I add some red, that should probably happen. Get a little red in there. And so when I start, oh, this is going a little brown. That's kind of it. Thanks for doing that on a live. I appreciate you. Nice of you. It also could go brown, but brown feathers are beautiful. But anyway, if you add some contrasting colors, get out your color wheel. You can start the process of creating. That's starting to go a little purple over there. You can start the process of creating some colors right on your painting versus like making purple on a palette. If you just work some red over blue, you should come out with a pretty purpley sort of glow to it in the end. And if you do not have a color wheel, you need to go grab a color wheel um, because
Oh,
it
this
is
is gonna.
so handy to just
Okay.
remember contrast colors. So if I mix red plus green, I'll get this sort of blue violet, right? That's the
Oh, that's how
idea
that
behind the color
works?
wheel, is just
Okay.
to give you some reminders. Um, and the other thing that I really like about this color wheel is it reminds me what are contrasting colors, so what's going to really pop. So I'm feeling like this is kind of boring and I'm not loving it. So on this one, I've got this blue background. So why don't I go for some sort of orangey yellow feather and see if I can get a little bit more pop out of it? Because when I just did blue on blue, there wasn't any fun contrast for me. Oh, and one other tool, more water. I like a spray bottle to
Oh,
get my paints wet if they've dried out, and they do dry out because I never close this. I always leave it just sitting here full of paint. Many paint instructors in the world would be angry at me for that, but I'm not angry at me for that. Here, let's
well,
start that one
we
over.
get to do whatever we want to do. Look, girls, I put splatter on my card. That was pretty cute. I'm pretty proud of myself.
I washed my
Oh,
feather off with my palette. That's okay. We'll draw it back in. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. So here we go. I'm going to use a little bit brighter color on here. But based on what I just told you, even though blue is a contrast color to yellow, do we have any idea what might happen when I put yellow over the blue?
I'm scared.
I
I'm
might get
scared.
a little green tinge, right?
Sorry,
Those two
gals, my
kind of come
face
together.
keeps coming up real close to the camera because I'm trying to look at what Andrea is doing. So I'm looking a little
So
crazy.
Andrea washed her first feather away, but that's quite all right. I'll I'll make more of that one later. Here, we'll fix him. Don't you worry.
Okay. Hey,
This is the
Tanya.
one that we first started on, and I wanted to show you this fun thing. I was at Five Below, and they had these pearl paints. They were in this set for $4.
I got it. I
But this
got
thing is,
it.
yeah,
I got the
one,
same
two, three,
one.
four, five, six. There's 8 colors in there,
Yeah.
but they were so inexpensive, and so I
Four
grabbed them. But
bucks.
this
Four
tray is
bucks.
so flimsy. Yeah, the
Okay.
tray's so flimsy that I threw it into my glasses case. But
That is a great
I'm gonna throw
idea.
a little pearl essence. I'll find a 10 for these eventually, but I'm going to pearlize this feather a little bit for some
Okay.
fun.
I'm going to do mine too, since I
So I'm going
have
to
it.
throw a little
Okay, I'm going to use a
pearl
different brush
essence
though.
on here. And now what I'm going to do is just follow the same line. Technically, all I'm doing is the same thing over and over. It's that sort of thin press and pull, that thin press and pull. I'm running the same line here. And I'm just going to kind of follow the contour of the feather that I painted before and create a little bit of pearl essence on him. And this dries super pearly. I've been really surprised by how much pearl you get out of this inexpensive paint from Five Below. And then I'm going to throw a few little pearl dots here. And we'll see when that dries, it'll be really pearly. This is what I use the backup water for, so that I don't inadvertently throw pearl essence into my blue water and then drag it into my palette and then pearlize everything I do for the next few days. But
Oh, like
whatever,
I
there
just
could be
did?
worse problems. Yeah, there could be worse problems, I assure you. I keep smudging my
Oh,
little
that
tiny.
is nice.
Um,
Gosh,
doesn't it dry
I'm
nice? And when you
impressed.
actually dry it, it's really pearly. Do I have one done? I think I do. Let's see.
I'm showing mine right now. Look at
Yeah,
that,
I
girls.
mean,
Holy cow, that is, and that's not even dry yet. Ooh.
that's an ATC card that had some of that pearl. That's a postcard
Ooh.
that I did a wash of the pearl in the background. It's not on the feather, but it's in the background. Um, yeah. And then here's one with speckles. And like those pearls would make good speckles too. The gold pearl flicked at it, which we can do in just a minute too. But the shortest story is, and I keep smudging my own stuff, so I'm going to get it out of your hair for a minute. The shortest story of all of this is have fun and just make shapes. This was my warm up from this morning. So I just come in, grab my brush, grab my coffee, and say, let's have some fun here. Let's do something different. What do we want to do today? Let's do a little deep, sort of bluey purple. And we're going to give
Okay.
our feather a funny shape there. And on this one, I'm going to do just a couple little small guys. that just fell down from the sky. And then we have a downy woodpecker who was molting in our backyard and left me the prettiest little feathers, which was so kind of him.
Oh no. So I have a question because I'm doing this
Okay.
live, and I'm just going to talk us through it, but I'm going to show the girls since they can see. I used, I mean, granted it was a cheap one, so if I did it wrong, it's not a big deal. But my whole paintbrush is now blue, and I'm putting it in the water, and the blue is not coming out. Is that going to mess me up for other colors?
As
Like, can
long
I
as the
just?
brushes are clean, it might have dyed your bristles,
Oh, okay,
but I think as long as they're actually clean, you
okay,
should be fine.
okay.
I'm
And
going to
then
tell you a
well,
trick
go ahead.
about making things cute, FYI.
Okay, that's what I like, kind of
Retailers
cute.
know this. Retailers know this. More is better. So if you draw a feather, you might be only so impressed with it. When you do a page of them, suddenly the grouping just has a way of just looking cuter. So don't be afraid to get a few on there, even on a postcard size. Um, a little grouping just has a way of just kind of looking nice. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay,
Let's do let's do a little grouping on a postcard that can be sent out to some friend out in the world who
okay.
would
You
love
work
a feather
there. I'm
postcard.
gonna go here. Rhonda, you just said you're gonna go get one. Go get one of what? Are you talking about the little
That pearl
paint,
palette,
the
maybe?
pro palette? If you do enjoy, I'm enjoying mine. I mean, I'm taking mine, and granted, I mean, I'm doing the basics, but just putting that pearl on makes me enjoy that a lot more of what I did. And we have Tanya here, and Tanya, I want to let Andrea know, Tanya's from South Africa. So the
Hi,
fact that
Tanya.
she's here,
Welcome.
that is amazing. I love that.
Wow.
So okay, so I did, girls. We're gonna watch her do what she's doing because I'm showing you. This is basically what I've done. I have literally just put, the blue ink. I did, some of this fun little glitter watercolor palette. On top of that, I will probably, I'm going to do something with my micron pen in order to write something on here. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, to be quite honest, but I'm going to try to make it work somehow because I want to send that off to somebody to prove that, yes, I made something. But also, yes, Rhonda said she's going to go get the little pearlized watercolor palette. That will be
Nice.
awesome. Andrea, while I
Um,
have you on here, because I am watching
yeah.
my time on my end, and I know I only have you for a certain period of time, I want you to tell these girls about this book. The book, she talked to me,
Oh,
and I will hold it up. Andrea was telling
okay.
me about this book, Big Magic, and it is amazing, and I'm going to be doing something with it in the Paper Girlie Facebook group because we're starting a book club. This is going to be one. I had the first one, the Book of Alchemy, which I read in a couple of days, and this one I'm just bombing through as well. So you tell these girls about this book that you told me about that now I am digging on so hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So, real quick, I want to just mention, did you see that card just fall apart? Right? That's the one that I painted and then I set something on. So I put the paper towel
Oh,
and you
yep.
couldn't take it. That's that cheap
Oh,
paper. So this
okay.
is the arches, the really nice paper. I'm going to do a painting on this one too, so you can kind of see, like you can see this paper buckling and all of that
Gotcha.
garbage. I mean, it's just how it goes. Like if you want to practice a little bit, you can. The thing about good watercolor paper is it will hold a lot of water. So you're going to be able to go back and forth, add layers, etc. Cheap paper eventually will just start falling apart. Okay, so the book that we're talking about is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. I keep saying Melissa Gilbert. Y'all are my age, you know why. Okay, Creative Living Beyond Fear. This is the thing. This is the thing. Those of us who say I'm not an artist almost say so with panic. I'm not an artist, like pushback. I'm not an artist, right? That's fear. And why do we have such a fear of it? Listen, okay, I'm going to talk about the book and then I want to talk about this quote that I heard yesterday that has just changed some things for me. So, the book, she's talking about being a professional writer and that she's always afraid. She's always afraid of criticism. Of course, she is. She's always afraid she's going to lose her idea halfway through her book. She's afraid that she's going to send her book out and it's going to get rejected, which it does millions of times over. Fear is just a part of living. And when it comes to our artistic expression, I think we have to rein in the fear and maybe set ourselves up for some success with a couple little tricks. One of which is, by the way, you don't have to show your art to anybody. Let's just start with the concept that you're going to keep it private, at least for the first month. Because one of the fears that we have about art is because somewhere along the way, somebody judged our art, didn't they? Someone said something. Now, it might have been us judging our own stuff, but unfortunately, the kid who put that lipstick on the wall got yelled at because one, he messed up the wall and then he also destroyed a lipstick. The truth is that he might have taken that info as the way that he created wasn't acceptable, right? And then this kid moves into preschool and starts scribble scrabbling, and that's all great. And then when does it happen that they stop bringing drawings home? When does it happen that they start bringing drawings home with a teacher's critique, with a grade on it? And I feel like when
Mhm.
that happens, that idea of it being judged and looked at by others is when we start to shut down as the natural artists that we are. So that's because there's fear in there, right? We're afraid we're going to be seen as not being good enough, or we're going to be criticized. And Elizabeth Gilbert, what she talks about is, so what? Life is scary, everything is scary, and we have fear in us for a reason. It keeps us alive. She welcomes fear on all of her journeys. She welcomes fear on every trip she goes on in every book she writes, in every creative endeavor. But she just makes a deal with fear that says, you can come along for the ride, but you don't have a voice. You can come along for the ride, but you're not driving. And I just love that. But one of the quotes from this book that I love so much, you can measure your worth by your dedication to your path, not by your success or failures. This is the big thing about art for me, about creating at home in the morning for me. Let go of the outcome, lose the outcome oriented thinking. I was so locked in fear, and I still battle fear. I was locked in fear because I was locked in outcome oriented thinking, because I was locked in seeking approval for myself through others. My self-worth was in the tanks, and the way that I got self-worth was by hearing from others that I was valuable. That left me in a position of having to perform constantly, and it did damage on my creative soul, I will say that. When I started the process of breaking away from outcome oriented thinking and just going into process oriented thinking, just the action of putting this brush on paper, just me and my coffee quietly enjoying that process in the morning, everything starts to change. And I think it's a very valuable lesson, and it's a lot of what she's talking about in that book. I wanted to mention that quote that I heard the other day. Actually, it might have even been a reel I saw or something. But they said, you know, that self critic in your head, the next
Yeah.
time that self critic shows up, take a breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, whose voice do you hear? Because the truth is, very few of us have an autonomous self critic. Somebody started criticizing us at some point, and we cannot let go of that voice. So it could have been an art teacher who threw you a bad review. It could have been a relative. It could have been a sibling. Whoever did it didn't mean to destroy your soul. Whoever did it didn't know that it would have an impact. But that voice is often the voice that's still criticizing us all these years later. And when I heard that, I thought, wow, I'm going to mess with that. And I'm going to tell y'all something interesting. Do you know that not only did a voice come in clearly, a vision of the person came in clearly, and this person is not a person from my past. They are a person of my present. I thought, oh boy, I might need to do some thinking about that, huh? Who do I have in my life that is so critical that actually, when I self criticize myself, if I'm really honest about it, it's their voice that I'm hearing.
Oh God. Okay, girls, if you hear from Andrea's channel, I am always crying. So, yeah, gosh, ooh, that hit me.
Yeah,
Because
and
I,
I've been really battling, well, I think a lot of women our age battle what I'm battling. I've been battling, body image issues, and, man, let me tell you, I can tell you exactly whose voice that is. Yeah, really interesting way to sort of see that and start processing through that and recognize that that might not be autonomous. That might not be coming from us. But make sure that your art to begin with is a private endeavor. Nobody needs to see it or grade it or judge it. You get to just enjoy doing it. And I think there's a lot of value in that to begin with.
Girls, don't use the paper towel that you put your watercolor on to wipe your eyes or start crying. That wasn't a real smart idea for me to do that. Oh,
Everywhere I
good.
go, I have paint all over me, and I just don't care anymore. I'm like, it's in my hair. Whatever.
Okay, so I
So
am to the
yeah.
point where I'm trying to put um, my pen on. Did I miss it? Did I
Oh
miss
yeah. No,
putting
let me
pen
do
onto
that.
the feather?
No, let me get there. Let me find a
Okay,
dry one.
okay,
These are pretty dry. I think these will work.
okay,
Another thing about watercolor paper is it dries pretty quickly. Oh, here, let's use this guy that we pearlized. Remember him?
okay. Yeah,
So I'll show you now. I want to make something clear. This is a lot of pens. I bought 4 of them 2 days ago. I honestly was working with half this for most of the time I've been working. I've just been adding to it lately. This is my graphic liner. This is my favorite, just black pen, just writes.
okay,
I really like this for outlining certain things, but I have a kind of distinct look that I go for. I go for a kind of illustrated look, and I feel like that black pen gives me that. If you're looking for something a little bit more natural, no, au naturel, you could do something like a brown or something that sort of stands out from the color that you used. I don't know if green would show up on that, but a
okay,
little softer touch like brown. But so that you guys can see it, I'm going to stick with the black for now too. And I'm going to move him out of our way because I know y'all are tired of watching me smudge all my paintings.
okay. I'm gonna use my black micron pen because I am making an ATC card and she's looking pretty cute, I have to admit. I was joking on, was it my Facebook? I put out a video saying that I didn't want to. You said I could do this and it was easy, and I didn't want to have to call you a liar, liar, pants on fire. And I don't think I
I saw
do
that.
because I think I am doing this correctly or
Right.
doing it. There's no
So
correct way. I should just have that,
notice
but I'm
no
doing it.
correct way.
Yeah.
And notice that I am moving my painting around. That's pretty handy if you're trying to get lines in certain directions and things. I think it's easier for me to kind of pull towards myself, pull, pull,
Okay.
pull, versus push, push, push. But we're all different. You might find the opposite. And also, if you're left-handed, maybe that works differently for you too. But I'm just throwing some outlines on here and then just kind of pulling those there where I made those little kickouts, as such as I'm calling them. And he's
Okay.
turning into a furry little feather, but I am down with that. I have no problem with that.
Okay. Oh my gosh, Desley's
So a few
here.
little lines
Hey, Desley. Desley down in
down under.
Tasmania. Yeah.
Good golly.
Oh goodness.
Welcome.
Uh,
Another pen that I like on this is a brush pen, or I know you guys use these. I saw you talking about them the other day. The Tombos.
yes, yes, yes. Got mine right
Ooh, I
here.
love me a Tombow. I love me a Tombow.
Oh, you know what? I'm just doing that.
Okay.
Oh, did I?
So I'm
Oh,
going to
no.
use this to fill in
Okay.
a little bit of these dots here because I did that kind of pearlized
Okay.
dot. And I could repeat some dots down the back, maybe like this, start to create a little bit of interest around here like that. And Tombos are brush pens, so they'll give you that feathery feather on their own pretty naturally. It's just that they happen to be sort of a wide tip, generally speaking. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you can mess around, find different ones. But now he's starting to look even more feathery to me over time. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting
Jody,
there.
I am using I was using, I haven't even shown you my card yet. I was using a 0.5 micron. The problem that I just realized that I came into is that I did not have my paint dry enough. So mine's going to look a little, wonky, but I see where this will work well. I should have let my card dry a little bit more.
Yeah. And do let your paint dry a bit. I have a fan over here because I am 54 and I have a fan everywhere I go. Um, but I will sometimes pick this little mini fan up and just hold it over my painting to help dry it. You can buy
Yes.
watercolor drying fans. They're like a little heated fan that you hold over it. I haven't gotten there yet.
Girls, you see
Um,
what I have. And yes, I know it looks, well, we're on a live stream. It looks kind of like a sex toy, but it is an actual dryer. And if it wasn't that it was would be loud, I would have used this. And I'm, me, I'm always afraid of how the audio, we always have audio issues, so I didn't want to like try to um, mute myself and use that. But that's what I use. And I just got it off of Amazon um, to dry stuff.
So
But any
I will also
hoozles.
say that the thing that's fun about art is that your feathers don't need to look like feathers to anybody but you. They don't need to look like feathers that exist. I have no idea what birds these are, maybe no such bird. That's the joy of art, also. And I think we lose that joy a little bit in art class when we're directed to draw something that's super specific. I'm going to show you an example of one that I didn't overwork and one that I did. This is one that I did not overwork. I did a wash in the background, and then I did a real simple wash over it, and then came back in and got a little bit of color there and right at the tip. And I left it be. I liked that I could see the wash lines through the back of it. I felt like this almost looked like a stamp, and I really loved it. And so, not overworked. I stopped at the right point. I wrote a quote: "What lights you up? This is your purpose, your light to share with the world." And this, it will make a nice postcard for somebody. Here's one that I overworked. So it probably was a little stamp like in the purple range to begin with. And then it got muddy. So then I decided to come in with a white gel pen to sort of re-get my lines and lose some of the muddiness. And it just keeps getting worse. So a little overworked, but that's the joy of it. I mean, for me, I prefer these two just like that. Don't do anything else over this. This to me feels a little heavy handed, but the point is you'll play with it and figure out what works for you. Somebody might like this better, this really thick paint with some really specific details. Art is subjective. What you love, and that is all there is to that. um,
Yeah, I think I
as you
overworked
get
mine a little bit, but that's
Yeah,
okay. It's
it's
my
easy
first
to
time
do.
around.
It's easy to do. I can come in with this Tombow and do a little bit of outlining here. Now these are still a little on the wet side, but these are kind of these little, I'm going to say his pin bone runs more up here than through the center of it.
Oh,
But
I didn't even
again, he
make
doesn't
one of
have to
those.
be from a real bird, so
Pin
it doesn't really
bones.
matter. Um,
Angie says use a hair dryer on low.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That'll do it. Um, but honestly, Angie, by the time I get up, pet my dog, go grab my hair dryer, it's dry. Like, you're looking at a pretty lazy. I should start a channel, The Lazy Artist. Um, Most of what I do, and I when I taught cooking classes, which I did for 25 years, I told everybody the main impetus of everything I teach them is just how to do stuff from the lazy girl perspective.
Oh,
Just
Desley's
simplify.
telling me that I'm great. Well, thank you, Desley. It is kind of what it is, but you know what? It's about being inspired, and this just by itself has inspired me. And guess what? Because I'm super, well, I'm saying I'm super quick. When Andrea was on here and she said fear is a part of living, then I just quickly wrote it down on my card because I like that little saying that she said. And I think she said that was from that big magic book. So I know that people for like Desley and probably Tanya and some other gals, they kind of pop in and out because it is Sunday and we have to, get stuff done on Sunday. If you missed out on the beginning of this or you missed out on any part of this, if you want to go back and join in to see Andrea do it from the very beginning, then just, go back in and watch. I had to, take a little potty break like I do. So I actually missed the very beginning too. And so I'm going to say that's why mine is a little bit wonky. But I'm inspired to go back and watch it to just get a little bit more understanding of what was going on because I had to hop in.
Well, please don't forget, I'm the one doing the tutorial here, and this is one of mine, and this is one of mine. So, the reality is they don't need to be great. They all
Yeah.
get there. This one that got schmoozed up a little bit,
Hmm.
he would love a little bit of marker on him, I think, to kind of sort of streamline him a little. So that's what I'll do. I'll use that little smudge as a little feather point and say, yeah, he just got a little schmoozed out there.
I am going to
And
finish doing
again,
my
yeah,
postcard and figuring something out with that because I will send that off to somebody.
what I will
So
say about nature, and I do want to throw this little nugget in there, is that I very rarely do I open up a book and go, what does a bird look like? Or what does a feather look like? It doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot. I usually just kind of go from my mind. If I'm trying to draw something specific, a stack of books or something, I'll use a reference photo. But um, what I love about getting an art practice going in the morning and getting it into your journaling practice, maybe it's the last thing you do in the day, is that it will get you to a place where you start to become hyper aware in nature. Right now, a lot of us just barrel through the week. We don't stop, we don't look. When you start painting, let me tell you, your eyes will find every leaf, every bird, every feather, every branch, every flower. I have pulled over more times than I can count to take pictures of the sky because I went into a rabbit hole of learning how to do good skies. And I just wanted to see every cloud. I could not stop cloud gazing to the point where, like I said, I was pulling over in parking lots to snap pictures of skies. Um, it will get you so hyper aware of nature. And it is a really nice way when you're on your next walk, instead of having an audible or being on the phone, just going out quietly and just observing. It's amazing how much you'll start to see now that your hands have started to make shapes and you're starting to get an idea in your mind about colorways and things you're thinking about. All of that nature will jump out at you. And a funny thing about nature is a lot of it is shaped pretty much the same way. Um, those basic brush strokes are also how I do something as simple as a simple bird. So
Oh gosh, you're gonna paint a bird right now, right before my
I
eyes.
mean, he's going to be the most simple thing ever. But basically, he's the same idea. Birds from their head to their tail don't really change shape a whole lot. And the front of them is what kind of tends to curve out. But
Oh, okay.
you can recognize very quickly that we're in the same shape family, right?
Okay.
We're in the
Mm,
same brushstroke family. We're doing a lot of the same stuff here. We just are getting a different sort of
gotcha.
angle on it, view on it. And those little, he's a bird, so he's got feathers. We'll give him some little feathers down there. I like to give him a little bit of feathers on the top of his head. And then birds, I do like to come back in with ink. I really love going back in with these guys. But I like my birds to be kind of illustrated. Let's see if I can find you an
Yeah,
example.
that
Like,
I've seen those, and I just yeah.
yeah,
So I got a couple more questions before we have to let you go because I know that you are on,
okay.
a time frame. Rhonda is asking who sells that color wheel. Is that
Oh, you
someone
can
that?
buy these at all of them. Hobby Lobby, Michaels, they all have them in the art supply. They have pocket ones, they have plastic ones. This is just an old cardboard one. So all of the big box, Walmart has this in its art supply section. So
Okay.
anywhere, okay?
Okay. So Andrea says they're
And there's
everywhere,
videos on, yeah.
and I'll throw a link in just for the gals that like to just easy peasy throw it in your cart on Amazon. But yeah, it sounds like you can get them anywhere. Okay, go Andrea. Oh,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
I Heart Marie says it's being in the moment. So difficult usually for me.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm wanting to take
exactly.
out of this because I have to
Yeah.
focus on this and be in the
Well, we
moment
get,
of
oh, and let me
doing
show
it.
you some splatters too. We get locked in the outcome. That's where our minds go. And that there is a lot of history about why that happens. That's not just our own trauma or our own lives. Listen, we are in a society that focuses on outcome as the value in any given moment or any given day or in any given endeavor. The thing that I love about this is has absolutely no purpose. I mean, an artist trading card. I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe I'll make it a bookmark. Maybe I'll send a postcard. But most of these things are just in cheap sketchbooks that no one's ever seen and
Well,
may
so maybe
never
you'll send it to
see.
me, Andrea.
Right. That's right. But they're purpose free. They don't have any real purpose. I want to not forget to show you guys a couple quick things. And then what were we just saying I was going to do? Oh, speckles.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
speckles
Tanya, we'll
are
see you
fun.
tomorrow. Tanya's gonna head out because it's 10:20 already there at her time.
Okay. Woo.
So you want?
If you have, yeah.
Ooh. Um, I'm gonna let Andrea show you the speckles, and because we're gonna be letting her go, so she can enjoy her weekend day, I'm gonna hit the little girl's room one more time so that I can be here without having to deal with that. So we're gonna let Andrea
Yeah,
walk us through this. Okay, I'll be back.
take your time. I'm going to do some gold here. So I'm getting this paint pretty wet. Look how much water is in there. So you can do that with your spray bottle or just with your brush. And I personally have found that if I bang this on my finger, I don't know why, but all the paint's coming back at me. And guess how I know? I've tried it 100 times. I have to bang the paint on like I'm using a ruler. So see how when I tap on that ruler, it just throws the paint into a cute little speckly mess. Oh, I love it. I love speckles. This is one of my faves. And then I like to do a few different colors. So we're going to do some gold. And when that dries, it'll be really gold. And then we'll do some of this sky blue too, maybe. Yeah, let's do some sky blue. And then let's see. There's some sky blue. Look at that. I love me some speckles. Listen, speckles make everything look cute. And also, if you didn't love your painting, throw some speckles at it. You might love it in the end. I will bet money I threw speckles on this because I didn't adore how this feather came out. And so, yeah, I decided to speckle it, and suddenly it looked a lot more fun to me. But the thing for me is that hitting it on something. If you find another method, let me know. You can see my board. There's paint everywhere, and this room has paint all over it, and I love it personally. I think it's great. But if you're working at a dining room table, maybe put some paper towels down or some butcher paper or something like that. And if you are going to go on a watercolor journey, look, I'm sharing with you what I do, my little practice, how I got started, why I got started. I think it's a fun place to start and kind of hear what another woman is doing with her art practice. But if you want some lessons, I want to show you this gal. This is Jenna Rainey, Everyday Watercolor. This book I got at Barnes and Noble. It's at all the major stores. And she has a YouTube channel that is free. She also has a Patreon that's paid, but I will tell you, there is so much useful information for a beginner on her YouTube channel. If you want to pay her Patreon just to give her a tip, you could do it, but get started with her free YouTube tutorials first because they are fantastic. And yes, you are going to do things like paint circles, which yawn. But it's so helpful, honestly, in the end, because it is helping you learn how to hold the brush, and then all my little scraps from those practices just end up in my collages. So I think they're beautiful. I mean, are they anything? No, but will they be pretty in some artwork? You better believe they will be. And you can work your way through trees, flowers. She is known for her florals, but she has a book on ocean florals, and this is her everyday, and it just covers basically everything you'd ever want to paint. I highly, highly recommend. If you're looking for a gift for yourself down the road, let's say you try this for 30 days and know that it's going to stick, you put that on your wish list for sure.
Okay. Uh,
Let's see. There.
Tanya says, before she left, Tanya says, anybody who tries a new craft is a winner. Not only do you learn about the craft, but you learn so much about yourself. And then AJ said,
100%.
wish they showed us this when I was in school. And then
You know,
Jeannie's
no
going to get some
kidding.
paint.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Blobs that I love so much. Um, that'll make more sense in a second. Yeah. I I don't know why art became this thing that became critiqued and became judged. And then I don't know about you guys, but the way that it was presented to me as a kid was you either showed that you were an artist, essentially prodigy level by age 10, or it was over. You either were or you weren't. And your family knew it, and you knew it, and your teachers knew it. Like there was that one kid in class that could draw Michael Jackson, and for whatever reason, there's your artist, and the rest of us, ho hum, go find a typewriter. It's too bad because the reality is that we all are artists. That's what human beings are. It's that quantifying the value of it at the end that where we go off the rails. And I say, chuck it, have fun. This is an Archer and Olive journal. I use these for regular journaling often, but I will say this brand, this is not watercolor paper, but I love painting on it. It really grabs, look how good, Mitzi, your feather is good. It really grabs color beautifully. So these are blobs, and I think they're gorgeous. And I was showing Mitzi this too. So here's a shed that's on my walk. So drew him in, and I actually drew him in like with an actual pen, sketched a shed and painted him. I like this page better. So, I mean, my mind just loves abstract and just loves color, and this just speaks to me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this necessarily, but I just enjoy this better. So blobs are fine, and you will advance in time to other scenes. This is some of those skies I just couldn't get enough of, but I wanted to show you what I do with blobs. So there was a page of blobs, and then I just stamped a saying over it. So I journaled on the blogs, is what I'm getting at. Quotes in little
Ah.
clouds on a page of blobs. There's my journaling. And um, some days these are little scraps from when I made like ATC cards or things. These were the edge pieces that didn't fit. So I just turned them into collage. Little landscape there, little collage there. This is when I got playing with birds, but there's something I wanted to show y'all. Oh, yeah, here we go. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to paint a feather, but I want paint on paper. I know that I don't have the wherewithal to create a landscape that morning. So this is what I'll come in and do instead and just put color down, because then I have a place for journaling down the road, right? So one morning not feeling great, this is what I did. One morning not feeling amazing, this is what I created. And I'm going to write little words in here that are all about honoring rest. So rest, honor, grace, peace, quiet, simplicity, right? And
Oh,
that'll be
that's
my journal
another one,
entry for that
girls.
day.
If you want a good video, watch her video on honoring rest. I learned a lot from that because you know me, I am always on the go, but sometimes you just need to take a break. And sometimes that means
Yep,
making yourself take a break.
absolutely. So paint swatches, I love it. And like I said, this is not a book designed. Oh, this one I started doing some sketching the other day. This is this palette that you see right here and this book with, I think, this painting open on it. And so I just started sketching it there. But the point is, just have some fun. One morning I just did all coffee cups. Just was in the mood.
Oh,
And I wrote
that
something
is
about
me.
matcha here, but I misspelled matcha, so then I crossed it out. Um,
Andrea
I
also
can
told me, she told me that I could paint in my Hobonichi. And if you are a Hobonichi like lover like I am, ooh, I was just like, I don't know, I don't know. Girls, I just painted in my Hobonichi. So,
how'd it go?
well, I'm gonna show the girls how what it went, and I know that you'll probably go back and watch this just to make sure. I always watch them just not because I'm like so much into myself, but I want to make sure that I didn't say any banana pants stuff. Which I actually,
Right.
now that I'm thinking back, I did say something bananas here. But anyway, girls, this is I painted in my little Hobonichi in my little notebook that I put my notes in for the Girlfriend's Guide to Journaling, and it did not. I was scared it was going to ruin the paper, and I'm feeling the back of it, and it feels fine. So, okay, again, I do not have to call Andrea a liar, liar, pencil and flower. She steered me right. You can paint right on the Hobonichi paper. So I'm
So
gonna
I
let
just
that
did a
dry.
sky and a little ocean there. And let's throw a little sunshine back there so you know the sun was peeking through. This is my Hobonichi. This is Sunday, live with Mitzi. Throw a little, yeah, girl, looking good. That's what I'm talking
uh,
about. Now we're going to
I'm
bring that sun right down onto the water the way it kind of does, the way it likes to do. So, yeah, you can throw a little quick journal entry into your Hobonichi. And yes, the paper, it buckles a little bit, but the point is you can definitely get it there. So watercolor and everything. What can I tell you? I used alcohol markers in this for the first time, and they bled through like mad, and then they dried, and the bleed through disappeared. Do y'all use alcohol markers? Do you know those?
I have
Um,
them, but I haven't used them
yeah. Oh, see, there's the bleed through of the
because I
alcohol
was
marker.
scared. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to test it. Again, they were $5 at Five
Yeah.
Below, so I grabbed them just to see. I'm gonna put a little orange in my sun.
And girls, look what I
He needs a
did. I
little.
took a Q-tip. I saw this online somewhere, and I just used a Q-tip to make little flowers. And I just, popped ink or not ink, paint onto the end of the Q-tip and just, made little
Yes.
flowers with them.
But let me, real quick. So there's my Hobonichi painting. You're welcome. That's my Sunday Hobonichi entry. Um, Real quick, I will say that Jenna Rainey, the one that I just showed you,
Hmm.
she is so great at flowers. That's her big thing. But if you're just in the mood to just play with paint and just get some shapes down, what I will say is remember, you don't have to paint that rose. You can paint any flower that your imagination can invent. So if you want to just play with the brush, just sort of set it down and pull, 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 set it down and pull. So we can just start creating little pansies here, I guess, is what these are deciding to be. I don't know. But the main thing is don't be afraid to just play with your brush strokes for a morning, you know, cup of coffee, a brush with some paint, and see what the shapes do when I blob it out that way. What do they do if I kind of press and go, press and go, press and go? You know, I get this kind of leaf shape happening. What if I want to
Right.
create actual leaves? I really want to go there this morning. I'm in the mood for it. Get some green and do the same thing, and suddenly your eye will read them as leaves, right? So just play. And I
Mm.
promise you, when you get a page filled like that, delight, delight to your eyes. You will love it. Keep your journals to yourself for now. They, you know, you don't have to showcase these to anyone. This is you expressing and playing and trying. And in time, you may want to share them. You might want to do a card for somebody. But for the most part, this is just watercolors to me are one of the easiest ways to play with art.
Okay, well, girls, that is the start for me. That is the beginning, and I'm going to, well, yeah, I'm gonna play around with this because I'm inspired by what I saw here, what I learned here. I'm digging on. I mean, I'm sorry, girls, for you that don't have a Five Below near you, then I'm sorry because I am going to just say this is that glitter or glimmer, whatever this is, the glitter watercolor palette. Oh goodness, I've got all my washi tape stuck to me. This little palette that I got, that is making a huge difference for me because even my little squiggles that I'm just starting out, just seeing that little glitter is making me love it.
Well, that's just it, Mitzi. I mean, the bottom line is it's creating something that's fun and appealing to you right away. And that's really what we want to have happen with these. Because if we just start making mud, if we just start making things that we don't adore, we are going to wear out on it pretty quickly. So start with some simple shapes, give yourself some grace. Remember that there's no rule about what a flower is supposed to look like. It can be your own little gem of a flower or a feather or whatever. I'm not trying to create an Audubon, you know, catalog here of birds. They're make believe. And I do like to make my birds pretty silly. In time, I end up coming back and adding some illustration to them, which I personally enjoy how that looks. I think I have one over here.
Can you scoot
It's
your
kind
pad
of,
of paper to the left a little bit? Perfect.
so I like to add a little
Yeah.
illustration that doesn't make
Mm.
any sense. Birds don't have squigglies and dots on them, but mine do. I just like the movement and I like how it looks. But look, see, these were ones that went muddy on me. So what did I do? Turned it over and made ones that were less muddy. Move on, right? Pin them to the
Right.
board with the right side out. No self criticism. Yeah, mostly it's just play. Have some fun. Have a good time with it. I thought I would show y'all real quick how I started and how it's going if you want to know what drawing a feather every day for 2 years will do for you.
Yes, I do.
This was one of my very first. There's a marsh that I go to every day. And if you watch my videos, my ending always is a few photos of my dog and I down by these estuaries. There's three in my neighborhood. And this is one of them. And this is one of the first paintings that I did of that marsh. And I like it. I tried to do one that was kind of a sunrise version. That's what I came up with. And this is the one that I did of that marsh last week.
Wow.
So your art will evolve. I'm here to tell you that. It doesn't need to evolve to what mine evolved to. I look for a very illustrative style with my artwork. I like pen and ink over the watercolor. To me, that's enjoyable. But I started by painting feathers and dabbing away with attempts at creating landscape that were pretty wonky attempts, but they got me there, right? Over time, I learned more about perspective and about skies and about kind of what the plant life looks like in those marshes. And you will get there, my friends, if you want to. But I'm going to tell you something. As much as I'm proud of this little painting, because what I like about it is I think it shows some evolution in my artwork over time. Let me make something perfectly clear. I am absolutely as thrilled with the sunrise that I just did for you guys here in this Hobonichi. So just watch that self critic, because if you want to know the truth, I love this just as much. It's just as valuable to me. It was just as much fun to create. And yeah, so the point of it is keep your outcomes not the focus. The process is what matters. And just enjoy it.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Andre, for coming on here today and joining us. This has been fabulous. I have been motivated, I've been inspired um, by just what you said, but also just for, the art, because I'm
Yeah,
always looking for ways to just open up, my creativity. Like I always come on here and I say, I'm not necessarily a creative person, but I like trying to be creative. I like just going and doing my thing, and when I saw you, I was like, oh, there's a gal doing her thing. And yes, I realized my thing is never going to look like Andre's thing, but it can be my own, and I can.
it can be your own. And that's the other part of this that I've really loved, is that what I didn't know is that a style was going to emerge in time. And like this little example in my Hobonichi, 10 years from now, if you showed me this page, I will can tell you that it's one of mine. A style of your own emerges in time. And I think that's a really fun thing to see. And that is not available for judgment of others either. That is for you to enjoy the evolution of. And I think it's a really exciting part of the process, watching a style pop out of your own paintbrush in time. But do not forget that I like this as much as I like this. Like I said, my favorite page in here, without a doubt, is this one. This was my favorite page in that whole book.
Awesome,
Not that one,
awesome.
although that one's fine too. So, yeah.
Because Andre's on her
Listen,
phone.
Mitzi,
So I know that I just want to give you your flowers right now. Diana Lopez says thank you. Blanca says thank you very much. Enjoyed this. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here. And goodness, I mean, you said an hour with wiggle room, and we're at that wiggle room. I do not want to take up your time because I know that we've gone over your wiggle room. But I am just so grateful that you came on here today to show us this. And girls, it's Journals for Breakfast. If you haven't gone and checked her out before, if you're watching this, after the live stream, it's Journals for Breakfast with Andrea. She is on there talking about a lot of the same stuff that I like talking about. We like, talking about the deep stuff. We like
that's
supporting
right.
women and making sure that there is a space for us, women of a certain age. Valerie says, thanks, have a great afternoon. Uh, so go check her out. If you're digging on her, then let's support her. Let's support her by watching her stuff, liking her stuff, doing all the stuff that, Uncle Al likes us to do. Yes, I've been on here talking about it's not the numbers, it's not all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, that does show support. And I came on here with the idea months ago when I discovered her that I want to really support Andrea and what her goals, what her channel is. And at the end of the day, I just really believe that her goal with her channel is a lot like the goals of my channel. It's just to make space for us women who are into the journaling, that are into making ourselves the best that we can be through journaling, through taking time for ourselves, by using our creativity to express ourselves, to really just feel good about ourselves. That is what. I think we're both trying to do. And that's why I really, really hope that you will go over and check her out and be inspired to support her. So, any
Yeah,
last
Mitzi,
words?
beautiful. No, just a great thank you. I also want to say a quick shout out to everybody who did come over to my channel when Mitzi introduced me. It meant so much to me. You guys did push me over the 1,000 subscriber mark, which was a really fun milestone. As Mitzi said, it's not the goal or the purpose, but it is really nice to see. And what I mostly want is that the people that want to hear, that are looking to communicate with other women that are experiencing what we're experiencing, that they have a place for it. I made a deal with myself that if a single person watched my videos and found something in there that they just needed to hear another woman say, that it was worth my time. So, and I think Mitzi's on the same page, and I've just loved what she's put into this world, and I love working with her, and I hope that we'll do some more collaborations. I bet we will.
I think that we will. And if you're over here, that you're an avid fan and follower of Andrea, I just want to put this out there that I do have a Facebook group. There's a link underneath the description of this video when it processes through. I'm not sure if it's there right now. It will pop you right over to our Facebook group. There's a couple of questions that we do ask you, or I do ask you, or Facebook asks you to answer. And it's just, to know, hey, where did you discover me from? But that's where we share. I mean, we are going, I know that there are going to be a lot of these gals that are going to be doing this watercolor painting and then sharing their pictures on the group. And we are just going to be supporting each other. We're going to be doing things. Andrea was talking about the Big Magic book. I'm going to be doing something with that over there because we're doing a book club over there. And we just have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and that is a place where we can just support each other. Here on YouTube, yeah, I mean, please like, comment underneath this video, all that good stuff. But over there, we can have more of an open communication, a back and forth. And that is really what a big part of our channels are about, is the community of women. So if you are interested in that, then please come and join us over there. Andrea's over there as well. Well, I was going to say it's where all the cool girls are. Yeah, we just have a lot of fun over there. We have a lot of fun over there. So thank you so much, Andrea, for coming on here, spending this time, spending more than the time that initially you said you had. I know that you enjoy the weekends with, well, I was going to say your Mr. Paper, but I don't know if you have a name for him. So go enjoy your time with him or spend your time painting and doing all of that. So we are going to let her go, and I'm just going to come on here and yammer yammer about the stuff that I have to talk about. So thank you
All
so
right,
much,
awesome,
Andrea.
Missy.
We will
Thank
see you
you. Thanks,
later.
ladies. Catch y'all
Okay,
soon.
okay,
Bye.
bye. I'm gonna get you off of here as soon as I figured out how to do it. Boom. Okay, so I think it is just me here now. Oh goodness. Oh, that was fun. Now, okay, girls, I'm going to show you, and she'll see this later, but this is the card that I made. This is the card that I made. I just used the washi tape. I used my little Crayola ink pad, and then I did use this one. I mean, oh, goodness. Well, I guess they did have to come out there. I did use the little pearl glimmer paint. But you know what? For my first time out, I'm going to say I'm pretty happy with it. I should have probably let it dry a little bit more so that I could get more of this detail from the pen in, but I might work with that a little bit later. So that is exciting. And that is what I wanted to do is I wanted to learn, well, not just learn, but I wanted to be motivated to try my luck at this. And I'm motivated. I'm gonna do more of these. So as soon as I finish this off, then yes, I will be. Oh, I guess I'm a little bit holding that over. I will be sending this to someone. So I will be sending this to someone because goodness gracious, Natalie. Well, me and Natalie, we text all the time, and she was telling me, "Oh goodness, I just realized I could probably take this out of my ear." Um, Natalie was saying, "Girl, you got to. People are jonesing for Happy Meal again," and I hear you. I hear you that you're jonesing for it. And so I'm going to put up the post tonight on the Facebook group about if you want to do Happy Mail. And it is something that we do in the Facebook group just because that's an easy way for people to send addresses back and forth and all of that. So we are going to be doing the Happy Mail again for May. And one of the things that I want us to do is I want people to make a card. It does not have to be the watercolor. Yes, I would, if you're so motivated to do that, that would be great. But it's about the artist trading card because we're really into that right now. So I'm saying, as part of your Happy Mail, please send, trade, whatever you want to call it, a artist trading card. Okay, so that will be up in the Facebook group tonight. Oh, thank you. Look at this. Loving your positive hearts, ladies. Oh, thank you, Marie. I assuming that you are over here from Andrea's channel, and thank you for joining us today. It has been lovely. I hope if you feel so inspired that you'll come and join us over on our Facebook group because a lot of these gals here that are in the comments, they are part of the Facebook group. And well, I was going to say Sundays are our day that we come here and we just kind of, gather together. And yes, one day down the road, we are going to figure out the whole Zoom thing. But for now, this is how we're doing it. Froze on my end. Uh-oh, froze on my end. Me? Or go out and then come back in. See if that helps it. Because according to what I'm looking at, I'm not frozen here on my side. Okay, Blanca. So the Facebook Happy Meal. So that is talked about is um, I will be putting that up. Anybody else? Did I freeze out? I'm not see. Oh, back in. Okay, so Blanca. Sometimes, like I always say to Mr. Paper, who has issues with his phone, it seems like all the time, you know what? Turn it off and turn it back on. And if that doesn't work, then we'll work from there. But a lot of times, if you just go out and come back in, that's what, does the trick. Um, so, uh, Happy Meal. So Happy Meal has been talked about. And girls, I'm just going to say this one time. And Mr. Paper says that, Mitzi, you go on there and sometimes you're kind of bossy. And I'm apologize if I'm coming off bossy. But from the first time, for the most part, it was a very positive experience for everybody. However, did we have, well, I'm going to just say it, some people, and goodness gracious, I mean, there were a couple instances that, yes, I understand life comes to life. And, we have to shift our priorities. But this time around, because I want it to just be as smooth as possible, if you're signing up, please sign up with the intention and hopefully, um, what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say this, knowing that you're going to be able to do it from your end. Because I just want this to run smoothly. And so that nobody has hurt feelings on their end. And even though some of those hurt feelings might possibly be from miscommunication, just from whatever we're thinking on our end, I just want it to run smoothly. And now that we've done it once, I think that everybody knows kind of what it entails, how to do it quickly, um, and all of that. Um, so so Gwen says, I'm still here. Gina says, thank you. Goodness gracious. Again, I put this up according to how YouTube says in order to have the chat come up on the side. I don't know if it will, to be quite honest with you. So that's why I'm looking over and trying to read out comments as well. Um, so goodness. Oh, hey, Carla. Um, you popped in at some point. Um, Desi says, thank you, Andrea. I have really enjoyed watching your channel for the past couple of months. So, yeah, I just want Andrea to just know, all the good stuff here. So I'm going to just read off these so that she knows that we're just, digging on her. Um, so Gina says, thank you. I'm assuming that you're talking to Andrea as well. So that was fun. That was fun. And yeah, did I have issues with the audio at the beginning? Of course I did. But that's kind of par for the course for me. Um, yeah, I can get on here pretty smoothly when it's just me going from OBS, but when I'm trying to come on here with a partner in crime, sometimes I have some issues. So thank you, gals, for having patience with us once again. So that is about there. What else did I want to talk about? Well, goodness gracious, we talked about this earlier, and so I might be just, re-talking about this again. But girls, these are the books. These are the books. There are links down below so that you can easily find them. And they are not expensive. They are not expensive, but goodness gracious, these are the books that we are going to be using in our book club for the first time for the book club in the Facebook group. And that's something that I'm going to be doing in the Facebook group because I have this whole Girlfriend's Guide to Journaling over here on the YouTube channel. I'm really digging on that. That is something that, I'm planning on continuing on. So that being said, because I'm planning to continue it on, this first month, has been all the kind of let's dig in deep, let's think some real, thought-provoking thoughts. Next month, and granted, I can't promise that might not be a prompt that will be thought-provoking because that is the whole idea behind journaling is to be thinking, um, is that we're going to just bring it, well, we're going to bring it a different way, and that is going to be about theming on movies. So we are 2 weeks out until June, so that I can, prep for June. My big ask for you gals is to let me know the movies. Let me know movies that you have watched that have meant something to you, whether it is purely because, goodness gracious, they were just fun and you enjoyed it, or whether it was a movie that got you thinking. And it could be a movie that you saw back, in the day, back when you're in high school, back when, you're a younger you. Give me the names to those movies. So I am going to put a post out on YouTube, a post on the Facebook group, probably a post on Instagram as well. Sometimes I forget I have Instagram, if I'm honest with you. And so then girls just come and start letting me know movies. Because, like I've said, I've seen a zillion movies, and if um, there's a movie out there that I haven't heard of, then goodness gracious, I'm going to take the time to watch it. I will do that. I probably have it, here on my desk as I'm working on something else, but I will watch that movie because, well, we're a community, and part of being a community is opening up our minds and our thoughts to, what everybody else has out there. So, I will put that up probably here tonight after we are done with this live stream. So girls, what else do I have to talk about? Well, I'm gonna kind of put away my art stuff and full transparency. I was digging on writing in my Hobonichi, and then without thinking, I closed my page. So I kind of mucked that up, but that's user error there. Um, and goodness. Well, I went away and I went and saw mommy and had a good time up there. I was only up there for, 40, was it 48 hours? Maybe 24 hours. I went up Friday and came back Saturday. So it was a quick turnaround, but that was good. Mom is doing good. Made some dinner, left a lot of leftovers for dad. So it was a good turnaround. But because it was a quick turnaround, I did not have time to go to any of my favorite paper stores up there. But I know that I will be back up there and back at the stores soon enough. So let me see. Will you give us a list prior so that we have time to watch it in case we haven't seen it? Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it out now, Jody, is that I don't know if it was you that had said that before, but yeah, I'm going to just like, well, let me get my notebook out here. Just like last month, how I had it all, marked out, I'm planning on doing that again for June. So that's why I'm asking now so that I can, get it all written down in my notebook so I know what I'm doing so that then I can come and share with you so that those movies will be out there in case you want to watch those movies as well. Um, oh, hey, Sandra. Um, just got off the phone with my child. Glad you're still on. Yes, my visit, I was just talking about the visit with my mom. It went well. It went well. And Sandra, I just was on this morning on the Facebook group and saw the pictures, and I was excited to see a picture of you so that I know I put it on there. You probably saw it, but now I know who to look for when we do our meetup in June. So I'm excited about that. Um, so, I talked about the Happy Mail. I talked about next month about the movies, and we're going to be doing a movie theme next month. I'm excited for that. I have a couple in my mind already. And girls, I know that people have talked about this before and have thrown this out there before. And don't you fear, girls, I am going to be on the top of my list are the John Hughes movies because I know for a lot of us, especially The Breakfast Club, that was a huge movie for a lot of us. So if it's a John Hughes movie, you don't, well, I mean, you can. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. You can put out the John Hughes movies um, under that list of movies, but those are already on my list because those were huge, huge in my life. Um, that period of time, those was it late 80s, early 90s movies. Um, I'll miss the first 2 weeks of June as you'll be away. Well, hello, Andy. Um, that's okay because, girl, you know they're going to be on here, and I'm going to have them all in a playlist so you can go back and watch those and Yeah, do I sometimes talk about things that maybe if you'd seen one before, it might make a little bit more sense, but a lot of times I'm just, on there yippity yapping about whatever I'm talking about. So if you miss those, you miss those. You catch up on them. If you want to, you don't have to, but they will be in a playlist as well. Um, so Sandra, exactly, love John Hughes movies. John Hughes movies were huge for us back in the day, and I still watch them every once in a while. Now, granted, some of them um, do not hold up over time. There are some social issues, some things on there that, make you think now that maybe that wasn't, um, yeah, I'm thinking of one thing particular right now. Um, but the underlying themes of those movies, the underlying themes and how they really made us think differently, opened up our eyes, so to say, back there when we started watching them, I think that they are actually really important movies, even though some of the actual parts of the movies may not be, quite so cool anymore. Or they weren't cool back then either. We just, didn't realize at the time. But yeah, so those are all movies that will be on there. So, gals, has anybody been doing anything fun this weekend? Mr. Paper and Nick, or my baby George, as I call him, they went to a auto swap this morning, and now I believe, well, they came in. I don't know if you heard them, but they did come in while I was on here earlier with Andrea. But then they Nick went somewhere, and I think probably Mr. Paper's out in the backyard working on the whole Memorial Day cleanup. Either that or getting the motorcycle ready because I am leaving on Thursday um, for 4 days. I will have things still dropping down here because you know me. I feel responsible to you gals to have something drop down here every day. And I'm doing it ahead of time as well. So I will have stuff on here through the weekend. But I'm going away, well, Thursday night after Mr. Paper gets off work, and then I'm going to be doing our first wind therapy. I don't know who it was, if it was Heidi or goodness gracious. It was Heidi, or it might have possibly been, oh goodness, could have been Carol. It might have been Carol. Um, that talked about motorcycle rides being called wind therapy. But we are going on a very first motorcycle ride, a road trip of the season. So I will be gone doing that, and then I'll let you know about that when I get back. Oh, good, Carol, you ordered both books, and girl, start reading them if you want to. Like I said, this first one, I mean, 2 days, 2 days. It is so easy to get through. It is so, interesting to me. And granted, every entrance, every chapter might not be interesting to you, and you meaning anybody out there. But I'm gonna say that a lot of them will be interesting to you. Um, and because they have the journal prompts, use them if you want to. Otherwise, I'm gonna go in the Facebook group and do something there using these. Um, because yeah, I mean, I do love coming on there and just making my, here I am, no makeup, whatevs, videos there. And I thought this would at least give me a reason to be on there rather than just coming on there and yickety yakking. Not that I won't do that as well. Um, but yeah, so that is a great book. And this one I have, I got this, goodness, I want to say it was in the last week that I got, oh no, I got this last weekend. Um, I got this last weekend, and already, I'm just reading it, getting a lot out of it, and I'm going to go in and do some marking so that I can come on and do something with purpose in the Facebook group as well. Um, so, yeah, Natalie says, thanks, Andrea. Oh, yes, you went to Florence. Okay. Sandra is the concert queen. And actually, it's so, well, I was going to say ironic. It's not. Obviously, you're not the only person who went to go see Florence. But I saw on my personal Facebook group that somebody from high school was there. Well, I don't think it's a Well, goodness gracious. No, I think it was the day ahead. So it was probably in Washington, and obviously, people move around, see different venues, and so she had gone as well, and she was there just, loving it as well. Um, so saw your group pic and looks like everyone had a great time. Blanca says about that. Sandra says it's important to acknowledge how we in society have changed exactly, and sometimes movies, show us that. So, yeah, that I kind of lost track. So I was talking about the books. I talked about the Happy Mail. Of course, I was going to write down, a whole list of things to go over. Natalie, am I missing out on something? I talked about the Happy Mail. I talked about putting the post up after this about the Happy Mail. Um, and I talked about the movies. And I'm just thinking, is there anything else? Oh, I'll give you a sneak peek at what I'm dropping next weekend, because I'm going to be doing the videos after this. And girls, it was exciting because when I was talking about that I did some shopping the other day, um, look what I found. It is the paper wrapping paper collection. So I'm going to do a flip through of that. And then I'm also going to do a flip through of the newest Paper Love book. And this one is the one that just is coming out at Barnes& and Noble. And actually, to be quite honest with you, this wasn't even out at my Barnes& and Noble. I went into the sneaky place that somebody showed me once where they kind of keep the back stock of things that they're going to put out. So you might be able to find it at your Barnes and Noble. However, it wasn't out at mine. I went and snuck in to find it. So, um, and goodness, it wasn't just some random person. It was actually somebody that worked there that when I was before looking for a certain one of the paper books, she said, oh, well, this is where we keep our back stock. So if you don't see it out here, this is where, you'll find it at. So I'm not going in somewhere that I'm not supposed to be at. 100% this gal showed me where it was. Yeah, so I'm going on a road trip. I am going down I-5. If you think of a map or you pull up a map where Seattle is, I'm going down I-5 down to Aberdeen, and then I'm going out to the coast. Going out to the coast. We're going to do probably Cape Disappointment. I think it's Ocean Shores, and then up the coast, back around to the Hood Canal, because I have a girlfriend who lives in the Hood Canal or has a summer home there. So we're going to stop there, and then we're going up to Port Angeles, Port Townsend area. I got myself a cute little cabin for Sunday night because we are meeting my nieces up there to go camping. And, do I like camping in Dolly Parton? I do because she is all inclusive. I have all the goods. I got the kitchen, I got the um, bathroom, the potty, I have it all. Um, and will I do regular camping? I will. I mean, I'm not that bougie. I'll go camping. However, goodness gracious, ladies, I'm 54 years old, and I can take about one day sleeping on a camp mat before, my body is just screaming at me. Mitzi, what are you doing? What are you doing? Um, so, Thursday night, Friday night, who knows? Depending on where we end up, I might be camping, sleeping on a camp mat, because we do have a whole camp set up for the motorcycle. By goodness, to be quite honest, I hope that we're near somewhere with a hotel or even a cheap motel. I'll take a cheap motel. I've spent nights in 29.95, like $29.95 cheap motels. I'm not picky. I'm not picky. Um, but so depending on where we end up, I might be sleeping on a camp mat. Because we do like to have the option. Because when we go out on a road trip, it is just, going out on a road trip, seeing where it brings us. We do a lot of stopping along the way. We just stop whatever kind of like we look at and we think, ooh, that looks interesting, we'll stop. Or if all of a sudden, this girl thinks, ooh, they might have a cute sticker there, then I'm going to make Mr. Paper stop so that I can go peruse the store to see if there's a cute sticker. Um, so yeah, it will be fun. And then Sunday or Saturday night we'll be at the Hood Canal at my girlfriend Holly's house. We're meeting up there in the evening, and I could think, not that I care, because one, I don't eat it, and two, I'm not getting up in the morning to do it. But I guess shrimping season opens up on Memorial Day, and so maybe Mr. Paper might do a little shrimping in the morning. I will be sleeping in the morning since I'm sure that I will be drinking a little bit of Prosecco with one of my besties on Saturday night. And then I said, goodness gracious, I mean, I can just throw my tent up there, but I'm hoping again that she has an extra bed. I know that we're not the only people that are going to be there that evening, but if there's an extra bed for me, that would be lovely. Um, so that is my weekend next weekend, and that is why I am just going to be, doing my videos, getting ready to be able to head out of town. So, gals, thank you all for joining me here today with Andrea, for supporting me and her and that. Um, yeah, that was important. I wasn't sure if we would get the usual crowd here, because you know sometimes sometimes we have smaller crowds, sometimes we have bigger crowds. So thank you so much for you gals that came and joined us here today with Andrea, because I really wanted to introduce her to the other gals out there that may not have heard of her before. Because I mean, I cannot imagine that you're not going to go over there, check out her stuff, and not see some value in it. And I just, I just adore her. We've had so much, communication back and forth, not only about just doing this collab, but just in general. For me, as another YouTube girly out there, she's the only person that I've come across with that I can actually talk about, hey, what happens when it doesn't work perfectly, or goodness gracious, I went on and my audio was all funky monkey, and it horrified me. So to have somebody who does the same type of thing as me in her own way, to be able to just bounce my ideas off of, and to get validation that, hey, Mitzi, you're doing, you're doing great, from somebody that I know does it herself, that is um, really special to me. And gosh, I'm just excited to have her, in my circle, So thank you so much for coming here and, welcoming her to, our live stream. So, and I do, probably we will do something, in the future. She doesn't do live streams over on her channel, and I'm hoping that possibly this will make it so maybe she'll start doing maybe a live stream on her channel so that I can join her over there. So um, so Natalie's saying, did anyone not get happy meal that they were expecting? I think that last time, Natalie, we came on here and we kind of, nipped that in the bud when addresses weren't getting traded. And I know there were some circumstances where I do really understand that, situations came up. And so I did ask them, okay, Blanca, we'll see you later. Um, that women that might think, ooh, I can't fully commit to this, I can't make this a priority because possibly some other things, might be coming up, possibly will hold off on this time. I think honestly, the gals that are really into it, the gals that Natalie, you said, oh goodness, Mitzi, I think people are jonesing for a Happy Meal again. I think those girls are all in. They know how to do it, and they know how easy and fun it can be. I think those are probably the gals that are going to be signing up again. Um, but please, I mean, I know that I come on here and sometimes, like Mr. Paper says, you come on there and you're a little bit bossy. I'm not trying to be bossy. I'm just trying to be um, real clear with what the expectations are um, on my end. And I'm trying to protect all the other gals out there that participate in this. So that's why I come on here. And yes, it comes off a little bit bossy, maybe a little bit blunt. But I think that Well, I think that most of you gals that come to these live streams or watch these live streams know by now that I can be blunt, and I'm going to be blunt. Is that, girls, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. I was talking to Natalie earlier this morning saying, I'm going to say it. And so I'm going to say it. Um, well, okay, here goes. I'm a little scared. I'm a little bit scared. You get one out. You get one out in this is that if you come on and life gets to lifing, and I understand that can happen, but you get one chance to, I don't want to call it an excuse, but to not follow through on whatever reason, and whether that is because, yeah, things come up. Maybe, it falls short one time, but that next time, if you're going to come back again and sign up, then I'm going to hold you to the expectation that hey, last time I had to, for whatever reason, maybe bow out last minute or not had really good communication on my end. This time I've got to make it a priority because it had to be lower on the list of priorities last time. Um, but it's because if it happens again, then if you put your name up, I'm not gonna pair you up with somebody because I know that there are a lot of gals that they really enjoy this and they really put a lot of effort toward it. And this Happy Mail exchange, that's for them. That's for them. And then I want to say for Oh, yeah. I want to say that we figured it out. And because we have Desley and we have Andy over in Australia. And I think those are the only two that participate in Happy Mail. And last time, the first time, there was a bit of confusion about how to do the Happy Mail because it came to my attention that holy cow, somebody had to pay, like 20 some dollars to send an envelope and blah blah blah. That person actually figured it out that no, I was correct because I was horrified, thinking, oh my goodness, did I steer them wrong? Did I steer them wrong? But we did a little testing, so to say, behind the scenes, and yes. Um, Pick up your international stamps. I have mine here. Sorry, this is a bit crinkly here. Um, let me see. It must be down here. Yeah, this is how you do it. If you want to do international, you go and you get whatever is, the international stamps that you get. I think they're all the same here in America. These little circle stamps. And it is literally one or two stamps. Each stamp holds up to an ounce. You go grab these stamps, you put together your envelope. I'm just going to use Terry's here as an example. And then you put together it. I got stuff over here, so I'm just going to lean forward and grab it. Goodness, sorry about this. Um, get your envelope. You weigh it out using your food weigh thing, and then according to how much it weighs, then you do one stamp or two stamp, and you just mail it from your home. Don't bring it down to the post office. I don't know, because I didn't go to my post office. I just did it how I normally do it, and was just like, Desley, Andy, did it get to you? Did it get to you? And it got to them. So, or at least, goodness, Desley, I don't. Mm, I can't remember right now. Did you get yours already? Um, but I know that Andy got hers, and Andy's got hers really quickly. I mean, I want to say that it only took like 9 days to get there. I thought it would take a lot longer. And I just mailed it from my home. So that does work. So, gals, again, I'm going to put it out there. If you're willing to take on an international girly, let me know. But girls, if it scares you, then honestly, and I'm going to say that they will not, well, they might care in the sense that they want to be able to possibly send stuff and meet, you gals on a more personal level. But if, people aren't feeling comfortable with that, oh, Desley says, I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's going to take longer. Okay, well, that's good to know. You let me know when you get it. Um, but if people don't feel comfortable with that, then guess what? Then I will just be sending Happy Mail exchanges with Desley, and Andy, and I'm just going to say um, that I'll do that. And with the exception that it's just going to be, me and them back and forth, back and forth. If nobody else, feels comfortable with that, girls, that I got you covered, and I'll be able to find some fun stuff for you. So that is the one nice thing about if you do exchanges with the same person over and over again, that then you get to know them better, and so that you can really kind of start curating a little bit more of the happy mail that you send. But goodness gracious, gals, I am super thrilled and super impressed with all this, back and forth art is trading card that I'm seeing on the Facebook group. And I love it. I love that. And I love the happy mail going back and forth just, organically on your own. Like I said from the first time around, if you just, if you click with somebody and you want to start, doing your own trades for your own, happy mail exchanges, by all means, do that. I just do the little, posts with the pairing people up just to kind of, start the invitation to people that are wanting to do that. But goodness, I'm excited that you are doing that, because I know that when I get stuff from you gals just out of the blue, it is fun, fun, fun. Um, and girls, I said that I was going to bring my stuff up yesterday. Was it yesterday or Friday to do some happy mail. I didn't get around to it. I did not get around to it because I was only up there, like I said, 24 hours. And well, I've said I haven't seen Nancy on here, and I don't know if Nancy will watch this later. But Nancy, I was inspired from, what was it, last week or the week before, and you said you were going to Texas Roadhouse for dinner, and so then I got FOMO, and I'm just like, I want to go to Texas Roadhouse, but we don't have Texas Roadhouse here. But then they do have Texas Roadhouse up where my mom lives, so I met Chris up there, my son up there, and we went to Texas Roadhouse and had a yummy, yummy dinner there. And so by the time that I got back to the condo, my bestie's condo where I stay when I go up there, I was tired. I was super tired, so I didn't do any happy meal. And this week, to be quite honest with you, because of all these videos that I'm trying to get made before I go to my out of town little getaway, I don't know if I'm going to get to it this week as well. However, I do have my little notebook, my address book, where I have your addresses down in there, and I have a little marker thing so that I know whether I sent you a sticker or whether, it's your time to get a postcard, and I will mark those down. I will eventually get to them, but it's just not, the top priority in my life when it comes to what I do here. Because my top priority is to make these videos, whether it's here on YouTube or whether it's on the Facebook group, and to just do those things, face to face, or my hands to your face, those type of things. That's my first priority. Um, and then the happy mail and all that other kind of stuff, comes after that. And while it is still important to me because I do love the community aspect of this, I just have to just let you know that that's gonna come after, the videos and all of that. Um, so will we get our happy mail person by June 1st? Yes, Andy, I just was talking about that, that I'm going to put a post up here today after I get off this live stream. I'm going to put the post up in Facebook for you to sign up for that. So that will go up there, and should I hold it? I will probably hold it open till, let's say, Wednesday. So today is Sunday, so if we can have that open until Wednesday, then I can get the pairings up before I leave on Thursday. So it's going to be a shorter period of signing up this month, but we're going to do it quickly, because I think the gals that want to do it know that it's going to be coming up and are going to sign up real quick, and yada yada yada. So I'm happy to exchange international. I have sent Andy something already. Yeah, so I think those are the only two gals, and I think the only other gal that is international that does the happy mail probably is Tanya, and I have to figure out Tanya because Tanya is in South Africa, and I think first time around I'm just going to take care of Tanya because she was saying that where she lives at that mail is not doesn't work real well. So she was asking about courier, and so I'm going to take that on to take care of Tanya because I've got to figure that out and realistically to figure out what the cost on that is. Because even though I would love Tanya to be able to get Happy Mail, I don't want this to be something where it is expensive for anybody to do. So I'm going to take care of Tanya this time around. So Gina, you're excited for Happy Mail? I'm excited for you. I just love that you gals are doing, this Happy Meal exchanges for people, um, whether it's through, the Paper Girlie Happy Meal or whether it's on your own. I just love seeing that. I love seeing it because, goodness gracious, I mean, I come on here and yes, it is my face, talking on here, yapping on here, doing all that kind of stuff. The fact that over the Facebook group that you are just, the whole idea of community over there has really taken off. It is just wild and amazing to me. And I'm going to check my phone because I could have sworn. Let me look here. Gosh. Um, let's see. Um, Goodness. Let me pull up the group. 295. 295 of us are there together. I mean, that is incredible. If you think about it, I was talking to my girlfriend Holly last night on the phone, and she was asking me about, well, she's not part of that Facebook group because she's not part of Facebook. Um, but she was always asking me about, my little adventure here. And she was saying, holy cow, that is a lot of women. Like, if you think of yourself standing in a room with 200 and, well, it's 295, so you take one away for yourself, 294 women. If you're standing in a group of 295 women, I mean, that is big. That is big. And I realized, holy cow, it kind of is. It kind of is. It kind of is for me, and it is kind of is for you. So imagine that when you're in that group, sharing your stuff, doing Happy Meal exchanges, if we were all together, say in a conference room, that is 295 4 women that we are standing with. That is 294 women just like you that came with the purpose of community. And so I am so, so proud of that. I'm so, so proud of you for, really just going there and just, you know, doing, being part of a community. That is exciting. Um, so yeah, I mean, Jody says it's really helpful. The friendships. I mean, it is, yeah. Okay, Natalie's time to tell me. Paper Girlie Traveling Journal. Yeah, girls, I came on here, was it yesterday that I dropped that video about the traveling journal? And, okay, so full transparency, I did not, okay, bye Sandra, we'll see you later. Um, I came on here, showed you the example, and the reason why I did that was because I wanted to show you the example of, how I'm setting it up for you to kind of get excited about it and get a few examples or tell you to just go and watch videos about it because that's where I got my examples from. Yeah, that one, if you missed it, and honestly, I can't even remember because, I'm 54 and going through menopause. I can't even remember if I said it specifically. I know that I said I probably was going to redo it. Hmm. Yeah, I'm 100% redoing my traveling journal. And yes, Natalie came on here and said, goodness gracious, girl, you're being ridiculous and you don't have to do it. Throw some washi tape on that bitch and send it out. And then I told her, well, too late, Natalie, because I already started ripping it apart. Um, so yeah, I already started ripping it apart. But it is coming back together really, really easily, really, really quickly because I'm using the same spreads. I'm just putting it into a different notebook. So I will share that with you when I am prepared to send it out because, like I said, I mean, I'm only going to be looking for 4 gals this first time around. Um, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to share it with everybody else. Um, and so that said, and I will put this out there again when I put that video out, when I'm ready to actually start this first, roundabout, um, is that if you want to do it here, with the Paper Girlie Studio group, um, please understand that yes, I'm going to be sharing those notebooks. I'm going to be sharing those notebooks here on my YouTube channel because I just want everybody else to be able to enjoy, these little groups of girls that are doing this. Um, and I mean, not only is it because I see everybody else doing it, quite honestly, on their YouTube channels, but it's because of this community that we have. That I know that, whether it's the first time around or the second time around or whatever time around it is, if I am doing it and say Sandra has her notebook, then I want everybody else to be able to see what how she made her notebook. Now, will Sandra could make a YouTube channel and share it, or put it on Instagram and share it. But I don't know if Sandra's going to do that. But I want you to be able to see what Sandra made. I want you to see what Natalie made. And Natalie, I think, is probably because I know that Natalie is a TikTok girly, and so Natalie might actually put hers out on TikTok. I think she might have mentioned that. But maybe you're not a TikTok girly, and I'm not a TikTok girly. I get the TikToks from Natalie, but I don't go on there and watch TikToks. Yeah, if you're gonna be doing it when one of our groups, just recognize that when you're signing up, when that time comes that you are signing up, recognizing that I'm going to be putting it on the YouTube channel. And hopefully you'll be excited about that, excited to share that I'll be sharing that. So no pressure, no pressure, goodness, to make, to feel like, oh, it's going to be on YouTube and so it's going to be, looking a certain way no, this is about, everybody doing it, their pages their way. And yeah, it is about just everybody is unique. And that is in my first page. And of course, I have it ripped apart, so all the pages are kind of scattered over. But the sticker that I had right under my initial welcome to my notebook, it had a sticker that says, "You are unique." And the reason why I put that there was just to remind you that your notebook is unique to you. So whether you want to make it all fancy dancy and get all, crazy like me, you can do that. If you want to do it simple, you can do that. It is whatever you want to do it. It is about the actual experience of singing it around, and then it's what you have at the end. Because what you have at the end is going to be your notebook. So make it the way that you want it. And so, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Um, movie Super Bad, McLovin. Yeah, that is a good movie. That is funny. And full transparency. Um, Well, I used to watch that all the time in bed um, with, well, Nick, my little baby George, because at that point, I was a single mom and he slept in bed with me. And so he'd be sleeping in bed and I'd be watching it in the background. And I can't say that sometimes he might have watched it with me, but that is a funny movie. So yeah, that is what I have to say today. Is there anything else? I think that I'm going to cut this short just so that I can get to those videos that I want to make, so that I can get ahead on those because I do want to make those to have those out to run all week long um, before I head out of town. Because then I can really enjoy myself. I can really enjoy myself out of town, knowing that I can. Well, that I can actually continue doing this and still have a life outside of, what I do here. Because I do enjoy doing this, but I have to, if I don't have a life outside of YouTube, then that's not really healthy. I don't think that's really that healthy. Um, I think we can all agree on that. My chat is about 8 minutes behind the video. Anyone else have ideas to get chat quicker? That's weird. And I don't know because I don't know honestly if your chat And what I'm seeing, how far behind that is, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I'm going to just sit here for a minute because I know that even the video is, a little bit behind what I'm talking about here. So I don't want to just jet off real quick in case anybody else has anything to say here. Um, but goodness, thank you everybody for joining me today. And um, these little, what are they? The pearl glitter. Again, these I got. Oh goodness, I'm looking at it now, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of paint in it. But for $4, I'm not that concerned about it. And it is about kind of just adding in a little fun glitter here and there. Natalie, Gina says, go out and come back in. Like I said earlier, Natalie, maybe you weren't here, but if something's not working, the first thing that I always do is like go out, come back in, turn it off, turn it back on. It could be also maybe your Wi-Fi or your data, possibly. I, you know, Technology is hit or miss for me, hit or miss for me. Thank you, Desley. I will have a great time. I'll have a great time. Hopefully, Mr. Paper will take some cute pictures of me to share with you. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'll probably put up in the Facebook group a picture that I had Mr. Paper take of me. And oh, goodness. Oh, those cows. I love cows. And Natalie loves cows as well. And it's those special cows, the ones with the horns. They're a certain type of cow. Not necessarily, I like just a regular old milk cow myself. But they're a special cow. I don't even know what they're called. But I stopped on the way home somewhere and they had these cows, and I made Mr. Paper take a picture of me just to send to Natalie. But maybe I'll put that up on the Facebook group just for, shits and giggles. Um, yeah. Um, I don't know, Highland cows. Yes, Highland cows. So yeah, I made Mr. Paper take a picture of me. I don't, I used to be cringy about having him take pictures of me out in the wild. I'm not anymore. So yeah, Highland cows, Andy. So we'll see if there's some good, photo opportunities for some cute pictures. And then I will be back on here. Well, I guess be the next weekend, come back for a live stream. But you know what? Let's be honest, I'll probably be on the Facebook group talking about it when I get back. So, girls, that's what I think I have for it. And Gina, thank you for joining us today. And Jody and Valerie, safe trip. My movie will be Now Voyager. I'm going to have to look that up because I don't know if I've seen that one. Um, Now Voyager, just by the title, I'm going to say, is that sci-fi? That's one thing that I don't watch. Oh no, Mary Lou, you just came on here and I'm just getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go because I have some work to do. But thank you for joining us, Mary Lou. And hopefully, if you are interested in the watercolor painting or interested in finding out a little bit more about Andrea, that you will go back and watch this. Because I got stuff I gotta do. Hey, don't forget to give the lives a thumbs up. Thank you, Gina. Yes, don't forget to give the live a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below so that, Uncle Al knows that we like this kind of stuff. Um, yeah, all that good stuff. Um, Again, like, I was talking on here before, and I was talking on here even with Andrea, that, yeah, I mean, it's not about the numbers. I was joking to Mr. Paper um, last night that I was just like, ooh, I don't know if people like my topic on Saturday or Friday, on Friday coming in here talking about sex and dating, because all of a sudden, boom, my subscriber numbers is, ticking down. But at the end of the day, I don't care about that. I don't care about that because um, this is about the gals that do enjoy what I do on here. This is why I'm on here. It could be that somebody was on here, became a subscriber when I was just talking about stickers and planners and all of that. And now that I've kind of switched this up, and that's Mr. Paper in the background, so I don't think he'll say anything. He's just grabbing coffee. Um, that it's for my channel has really morphed, evolved over the last 6 months. So yeah, of course they're not going to want to come on here and watch me go on and on about being a 54-year-old lady dealing with 54-year-old lady stuff. I don't, that doesn't bother me. Um, so, oh, Gina, you say your favorite movie is The Notebook. That is my favorite movie as well. And that is my whole wedding to Mr. Paper was themed around The Notebook. My whole, yeah, that is my favorite. Not only does it have, my boyfriend, um, Ryan, one of my boyfriends, Ryan, is in that, Ryan Gosling. But just, the romance behind it, the story behind it, it is, me. And I want to say, you know what, Mr. Paper really enjoys that movie as well. He's sitting here staring at me from the doorway. Okay, he loves a good romantic movie, a good rom-com, a good romantic movie. He loves them as well. Um, And yeah, he is my Noah for sure. And I'm his Allie in the sense that I can be a little bit, bananas, a little bit wild, a little bit crazy. And he is more, just, well, I mean, yeah, he is my Noah. So, okay, girls, I'm going to sign off so that I can get to making my videos, sharing the stuff that I like sharing, and then we will meet back up here. We will meet back up here later down the road. And also, I'm going to go over to the Facebook group to put up the thing for the Happy Mail and get that all taken care of. So, as per usual, until next time, from one paper girly to another, bye.